What's happening, everybody? Happy Saturday to you all. Hope you're doing well. Hope your families are doing well. Um, let's see. Make sure the connection is tight. Taut. This may switch up a second. I think we're okay. If it switches, it switches, but I think it's good. All right. Yeah. So once again, thank you guys. Appreciate you as always. Happy Saturday. If you're on the East Coast, you know how it is. Weather's always up and down. Today it was supposed to rain for a little bit in the early afternoon. Then I checked the weather and it's raining throughout the course of the day. You know, it's how it is. Summer weather in the East Coast, New York area specifically. But hey, we'll take it. Could be a lot worse. We could be having 100-degree weather, like some of our brethren in the South and other places. They having incredibly high temperatures, 100 degrees, feeling like 105, 100. That's nuts. I got a friend in Florida that's telling me that people are dropping out there, heat stroke and all types of stuff. So, yeah, just wherever you're at, be careful. But we have to get on. It's life. This is what we have to do. Oh, and you can see Morning Cup of Joe or Joanne or whatever, whatever. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in as always. Louisiana Knicks is in the building. Salute. What's good? Knicks are nice. Pudge, the CAA affiliate, is in the building. Salute. Kerry Cox is here. Salute. What's good? Mega NYK in the building. Comega, what's good? Will Salkin is here. Salute. Happy Saturday to you as well, brother. JJ is in the building. My fellow Met fan, my fellow I don't know, my sorrow brother. We going through it. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But you know what? Thankfully, we a third of the season. I mean, 3/4 of the season done. So we're getting closer to this nightmare being over, at least for this season. Jesus. I mean, it's unbelievable, JJ, as well as any other Met fans that may be in the chat or watching. We go from having a team that looks like it's on the rise, adding expensive pieces to build it out, bringing in top-notch veteran ace Cy Young type pitchers, only to find out the ace pitchers can't pitch right now for the Mets. The B-level pitchers can't pitch for the Mets. The bullpen is having problems for the Mets. The guys we already had that were hitting last year can't hit this year. The money we spent on high-class players, their games have changed. I mean, they're still productive, but they're productive in a different way. So now you got to kind of think about, all right, well, what we thought we were going to get from this player, we're not getting. So now we got to get something from somewhere else. And all of that, right? You think that's bad enough, right? All of that. And then you find out that there's issues in the clubhouse, that there's cliques, that guys don't get along, that there's like a cancerous culture in the dugout and the clubhouse and all that stuff. I tell you, man, it's one thing after another. I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. It's crazy. I don't even know how this happened. And I know Buck has been a good manager for the Mets, but I just got to say that when stuff like this happens with a veteran manager, Buck, who don't play no games, like everybody knows Buck is a disciplinarian. He's always been a hard nose. All of a sudden, all these issues are happening within your clubhouse. There's cliques. There's a culture of separatists. What is that word? Whatever. There's a separate culture in the clubhouse. I just don't. That's when I look at things and I say, as great as guys are with X's and O's, you see where I'm going, and understanding of the sport. If you got stuff that is happening that normally wouldn't happen in your clubhouse or your locker room, That's when I think that I don't care how smart and how good of a manager or coach you are, there might be time for a change, because it doesn't matter if you can instill the right type of game principles on a person if they're not paying attention because of other things in the environment, or they're creating their own unhealthy environment for the team. Baseball, unlike any other sport, is really about team and togetherness, because that's why we got rally hats and all types of stuff, superstitions. People eat the same thing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All types of wild stuff happens in baseball. So you really got to be locked in. You got to believe, and the rest of the guys in your team, they got to believe in you. It's unlike any other sport, because football, you can be like, guys believe in each other, but you also can have individual greatness, and you can affect the game that way. Baseball, it's a little tougher. You gotta, depend on other things to happen. And basketball, you can have individual greatness too. Sometimes one player can't carry a team, but in some cases they can. But two players might be able to do it. In baseball, you can have a guy up there that hits 4 home runs in a game, but he can't pitch. You know what I mean? He can't stop what's happened on the other side. Anyway, all right, that's enough of my early Saturday baseball rant. I was really disappointed, because I've been following the Mets a little bit, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I've been caught up in the Knicks stuff, and I haven't been paying attention too closely. I was shocked to find out there's all this clubhouse stuff, and this I don't know. I can't deal. And then my man Lindor made a bet with McNeil, and then reneged on the bet. Come on, man. I can't with this. It's too much going on over there. All right, I'm done. All right, back to the Knicks. Anyway, Building Blocks is in the house. Salute. What's good, Building Blocks? Stream Elements is here in the building. Salute. Dan Marrero is in the building. Salute. Ribby's in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate y'all. Animal Lex is here. Salute. Travel Vibes. Hope you're doing good, Travel Vibes. Good to see you as always. Oh man, my guy Walter Blackman is in the building. Salute, Walter. Hope you're doing well. And you're a Jets fan. Your Jets played today. Yeah, so good luck to them. Hopefully they look good out there. My Giants played last night, and it was as expected. The starters didn't really play. It was a lot of the backups, so it's a backup game. It is what it is. It's for guys to work on things. But I will tell you one thing. I'm liking what I'm seeing from my secondary. My 2 cornerbacks looking good. Them 2 rookies. I like that. And Pinnock looks great too. Oh man. Listen, you put those guys together with the guys that we already depend on the team, on the defense, with Wink Martindale's system. Giants were pretty good in defense last year. They might be even better this year. Watch out. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway. Julian Blum is in the building. Salute, Julian. What's good? I hope you're doing well. Angel Torres is here. Salute, amigo. Kevin Middleton in the building. Hold on. I'm going to start that. I'll come back to it, Kevin. Good to see you. Dan Morrell is a Jets fan too. Salute. Hey, man, you guys should be happy. I mean, you got a bona fide Hall of Fame quarterback. Now, I don't know if you're going to get the Hall of Fame type from him, because, he is older. I'm still... even Aaron Rodgers, even at his at 50%, is probably better than what a lot of quarterbacks can do out there today. So I think it's going to work out pretty good for the Jets, at least for this season. I mean, I don't know going forward. People just keep getting older. You know what I mean? So, but I think the Jets are going to be pretty interesting, and they got some good weapons over there too. And that running back, getting him back this year is going to be a big help. All right. Yeah, Kerry Cox, listen, from your lips to God's ears, that would be fantastic. Jets and Giants in the Super Bowl would make my day. That would be incredible. It's not like a Subway Series between the Mets and Yankees, which, a lot of people around the country don't really care about sometimes when it happens. But Jets and Giants, that's a whole nother story. Although it's weird because they both play in the same stadium. I never get that. I mean, at one point you would think they would want to separate, but whatever. Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, JJ, not for nothing. The Jets O line being a real concern. I think the Giants O line, not the starters, but the backups, them backups is not looking good, man. They like a revolving door over there. You talk about the defense of the Knicks and Fournier and other guys who don't. That's second unit of them Giants offensive linemen. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Oh man, look at this. Yeah, really. There's always one. Shout out to Blorange Tears, my guy Uncle Freezy in the building with his consistent giant hate. At least he's consistent about it. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a Bears fan. What else is he gonna do? You can't really hold him to anything. I mean, the Bears had their day a long time ago. Long time. You know what was your star? Walter the Refrigerator Perry, Doug Flutie. What you have? McMahon. What we got to go back to those days, or a little more present. Erlacher. How long ago was Erlacher? It's been a minute. Oh, okay. Now he want to throw out the 3 lucky Super Bowls. Here we go. First off, we've got 4 Super Bowls in our history. Okay, and one was based off of our guy Eli Manning scrambling to get open to throw that Hail Mary pass that David Tyree caught with the helmet catch to keep the game going. But the game wasn't over, okay? The game wasn't over. The Giants still had to take the lead, okay? The defense for the Patriots could have stopped us. You know, all we do is beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, so it don't matter. All we do is end perfect seasons for the Patriots, so whatever. All right. I love it. Let me see. Okay. Flutie rhymes with fruity. Yeah. Although I did like Doug Flutie as a kid, looking at a guy who was diminutive in size and still being a beast out there and running around and making guys look foolish. Listen, if it wasn't for Doug Flutie, would Steve Young be, would he even have the chance that he got to be successful with the 49ers? Who knows? Because Steve Young was pretty small himself. And Steve Young didn't come out the gate blazing either. It took him a little time before he got his shot and really showed out and showed what he could do. So, yeah, man, shout out to Doug Flutie for that, for making a way. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, definitely, man. Always, Freezy. Especially, man. Listen, even though I wasn't a Bears fan, I ain't gonna lie. I did like when they did that little video and did their little rap song. I thought that was pretty great. Yeah, that was a fun bunch. They were a fun bunch of Mike Singletary and all right. I'm done. I ain't talking about the Bears. It's making me sick inside a little bit. Okay, I'm done. Anyway, back to these Knicks. All right, guys. So you know what? We got some stuff to talk about and tackle today. I ain't gonna lie to you. I am so ready for Knick basketball. You can't even imagine. Like I don't know. I'm just like this off season feels like the longest off season ever. Like since I've been a Knick fan. I don't remember an off season being this long. But that's because I'm fully invested. So everything matters to me now. And I understand a lot more about what's happening and what's taking place, and the expectations are high. We're a team that's hopefully on the rise, and we just hope that something good comes out of it. So, but we'll talk about a lot of that. You know what? So let's do this. Let me do this because I be forgetting sometimes, and I be going off on my little tangents, right? And then let me hit the intro. We'll come back and we'll get into the show. Yeah, I think that sounds good. All right, we'll be right back right after this, folks. All right. We are back. Let's see. All right. So, I mean, listen, you guys know it's been pretty quiet. There's not a lot of news uh, to talk about with regards to the Knicks. We're right at the moment where it's dead air. It's dead air right now. FIBA World Classic is basically taking over and on everybody else's mind. And then eventually we'll get into the uh, you know training camp and all that stuff. I don't know what you want to call it for basketball. I guess it's called training camp as well. I don't know, but we'll get into all of that with the Knicks, and then they'll get into the preseason and then the regular season. But for now, it's pretty quiet. It's pretty low on the totem pole is any real Nick movement or news right now. There's still some players out there, a couple guys that are still looking for a job. I talked about it on the NBA wrap up this past Thursday with John. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do check out the NBA wrap up on the Nothing But Knicks channel. Christian Wood is still out there. Will Barton is still out there, and Kelly Oubre is still available. Those are the three notable guys who made good money, like over $10 million last year, and they're still out there. Kerry Cox, it airs on Thursdays at 8:30. The only thing is like because we have guests on that show on Thursday nights, sometimes we may have to push it a little bit to accommodate the guest and wait for them to be available. But so it didn't start actually at 8:30. It started a little later, but the replay is already on. So if you go to Nothing But Knicks, click the Nothing But Knicks button, the Nothing But Knicks title button, and just click on live, and you'll see the live shows, the most recent live shows, and the NBA wrap up will pop up, and you can see the last show that we did. So yeah, I mean, those three guys are notable guys that are still out there. I don't know what's going to go, what's happening with those guys. I think a lot of it is contingent on asking price. Those guys, have been making a good amount of money. I mean, Will Barton was making 14 plus million last year. Could you imagine? And no, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve to be paid. It's not a pocket watching, but he was making more money than Christian Wood or Kelly Oubre. So it's interesting. So it might be tough for these guys to get the asking price that they may have wanted, and so maybe that's delaying things with them. Also, some of these teams, before they even consider making an investment, they would like to know what they actually have on their team, and they're probably also waiting to see what happens with James Harden, with Damian Lillard. Like, where are these guys going to go? Are they going to stay put? What's happening with that? So there's still some question marks out there, and I think for the most part, the Knicks, when it comes to making any more acquisitions, I think they're done. We know they don't have a lot of money to begin with, unless something opens up where they really take a liking to somebody that is, less than $1 million or a little over $1 million. Because I don't think the Knicks have a lot of money at all. It has to be somebody who really is on the cheap. Um, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. And then the other thing is, like, you really don't know if it even matters. You guys all know that the Knicks have their core of players right now that they're rocking with. We know Tibbs' rotation. Really, what we're seeing right now is anything that's added to the Knicks is basically for competition purposes, so that guys can fight it out. See if it can bring out the best in guys, and Tibbs can make an easier decision as to how his rotation is going to look. Maybe somebody comes out of the fold, and whatever he has in mind, he says, okay, well, maybe instead of 9, maybe I do need to go to 10 because of this person. That's all we're really going to get, in my honest opinion. It's a 9-man rotation that is set. He may go to 10 if he likes what he sees during training camp and preseason. think that's what we'll see. And I think actually for preseason purposes, he will use 10 and see how it looks. Right. But if it ain't looking good, expect Tibbs to go back to where he likes to be. You know what I mean? So we'll see. And I don't know, Kerry Cox, what is going on with Fournier? I have no clue. But I got to tell you, see, I was mad the other day, and thank you for bringing it up because it made me think about it again. So we don't make a move for Fournier. We don't move him anywhere. Obviously, maybe there wasn't a good deal. And don't get it twisted. Knicks, I want Knicks fans also to understand this. Knicks fans aren't stupid. They know that Evan Fournier doesn't necessarily fit this team and what we're trying to do, right? But Evan Fournier is not a bum. Let me say it again. Evan Fournier is not a bum, guys. So some of y'all out there who may not, sometimes out of sight, out of mind, makes you look at a player less than what they really are. Evan Fournier is no bum. He can still play. He still offensively is limited, but what he does do, he does well, and that can benefit a team. So the Knicks are trying to do their best not to just give Fournier away. He's making $18 million. Yes, it is what it is, but they're trying to not only appease him to move him somewhere, but to get something back for him, because it's not like he is a veteran NBA player that I'm telling you, he goes to the right situation and has his role. Evan Fournier could be productive for a team. You can't expect him to go out there and lock somebody down on defense, but but you know what I mean? When they need some instant offense off the bench, somebody to light it up from the outside and give him the looks and set the screens for him and get him open, Evan Fournier could do some things for somebody. That's why I always think Evan Fournier to Milwaukee would have been a good fit, something like that. But or even San Antonio, but who knows? But yeah, we'll see what happens with that, man. I don't know. I really don't know. Knicks 100 is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Good to see you. Ashley Inc. What up, Wiz? He says, salute Captain Ron. If Wood or Oubre will accept the minimum we got to offer, we should definitely add that we probably should sign IQ quickly, pun intended. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't think, maybe. Nah, I can only see Wood or a guy like Oubre accepting the minimum for a championship contending team. You know what I mean? That's when those guys do that type of stuff, when they know they're on a championship contending team, because like in that situation, a lot of the real good teams, they already have the guys that they're going to play for the most part, right? So when you go over there, your minutes are going to be limited. You may contribute, but there's other guys that they already have in the pecking order. So for me to sacrifice my game and playing time, I got to know I'm in line for a championship, because that'll make it come together for me. At least, you know what? I went over there for a year. I took less pay, but I have a chance to win a ring, or I came out with a ring. That's how NBA players, they look at things like that too, because they say, listen, I'm going to be sacrificing time. I'm not going to, really showcase, what I want to do. I may not even put myself on display to really impact getting a big deal, if they can get a big deal. So you think about that, like the ring is what's the draw, the chance for getting a ring. And I don't know if somebody says, well, if I go to the Knicks next year, we got a chance to win a ring next year. Maybe in the future, but I don't know if they look at that next year like, oh, I'll take the pay cut to be on this team now. So that's the only thing that I would say, Wiz, is something that is a little bit of a hindrance for those type of players. It is not easy for someone like Will Barton, for example, who's making $14 million last year, to say, oh, I'll take 5 or 6, this year, to go play on the team and not really get a lot of minutes. It's tough. Because I think that's what around the veteran minimum is, around 5 or 6, something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe it's a little more. I don't know. But I don't think the Knicks have that much money. Where was I? I saw someone else. There we go. BX Mel is in the building. Salute. What's good? I hope you're doing well. S. Brooklyn in the building. Salute. Yes, hit that like button. Show your love for the show if you can. I appreciate you. Hit that like button on the way in or even on the way out if you got to go somewhere else. I'll be around for a little while. You can definitely come back and tune in again. Snipes Entertainment is in the building. Salute. Snipes Entertainment says they gave Obi for a used sandwich. Listen, man, I know, but understand it's for a greater purpose. Okay, I get it. I know. I'm with you. It's not about the Knicks. At least feel good about the fact that understand and know that the Knicks did not want another player to come back. They didn't want it. They could have got it. They didn't want it. Okay, they just wanted that trade exception, that 6.5 to 7 million trade exception that you get for Obi, because they feel like they may need that in the future. So if that makes you feel any better, that's all I can say. They knew what they could have gotten. They definitely could have got a player. Who knows who they could have gotten, but we know 100% they could have got Chris Duarte. That we know because he got traded right after Obi for the same thing, 2 second-round picks. So they easily could have swapped those two guys. We know that already. And maybe they could have got somebody else other than Chris Duarte for Obi. But the Knicks didn't want it because they didn't want to have to pay another salary for a guy who most likely is not going to play. So it is what it is. Oh, and I almost forgot. The reason why I even went on that little tangent about Fournier is because recently we just found out Fournier got hurt. He tweaked something. Now, it's not serious, but it's enough that he tweaked something. And so you're trying to shop a guy. You did not trade him. You let him go to the FIBA World Classic. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you're hoping that when people see him in his element with the French team and he does what he does over there, that'll help his trade value. But now he gets hurt. So how does that impact his trade value? I don't know. I don't know. It's always something, man. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's true. I think Popovich and Thibodeau's relationship is stronger than what happened with the Morris thing. But you ain't lying, Knicks 100. That wasn't a good look. That was not a good look. Drink coffee. Every time I don't know, man. I can't stop drinking this iced coffee. But I gotta tell you, for someone who has to speak for an extended period of time on a podcast, these cold drinks with dairy, I think that's what it has to do. Because if I drink a cold soda or drink a cold juice, it's not the same thing. It's something about cold dairy or something. It's not good for the vocal cords. It always gets me all choked up, and it's the weirdest thing ever. I need to start treating my vocals like I'm a singer, like I'm mature. Anyway, yeah, I need to be drinking tea with lemon. See what I'm saying? I don't know what it. All right, as much as it pains me, I think I'm just gonna let this sit here and waste it. It's upsetting me. Can't do it right now. All right, so Boulevard 73 in the building. What up, Bully? What's good? Salute to you, my brother. Doing well. All right, guys. So let's get into some of these topics we got for today. I was going to start with Josh, but I think I'd rather start with RJ and Drew. So you guys know that I've been talking about RJ and what he's been doing to better himself, better his game in the off season. And I don't know. We've seen the videos of him working out with Drew Hanlen, different things that they're working on. I don't quite know what to make of it. We saw a limited video of him doing some things that we see him doing every off season. So, I mean, there's not much really to read into it. If I saw him shooting 3-pointers with his right hand, I'd be like, oh, now that's different, but I don't know what to say. It's like, it's workout videos. It's the same thing we see. So I don't know. But I will say this. Apparently, Drew Hanlen pays attention to what's going on. I don't know if RJ does, but I'm sure they all do. They just don't acknowledge it because they don't want to add fuel to the fans and make us think that we actually have a say over their lives. But they do pay attention. But Drew Hanlen apparently does pay attention. And so shout out to Big Nick Energy once again. I mentioned him last week about the interview he was doing with Drew Hanlen, and I got to see it. And I want to say it was a decent interview. Like, I don't know what I was expecting to get out of it. Drew Hanlen is a trainer who is loyal to his clients, and I think he's going to try to put them in the most favorable light possible. And if there's something negative, really negative, should I say, I don't think he is going to make mention of it. And I don't know if there's something really negative that he's seen, but I guess I was just hoping for a little bit more. I was hoping for something that kind of said that, RJ's game is evolving. Like, the NBA and what the NBA likes to do is one thing. But when I work out with RJ Barrett, I like to tailor what we do specifically to what's going to make him better, and not what is the norm of the NBA or what I'm doing with other players, his peers. And I'm not saying that may not be the case, but he didn't really refer to that, or he didn't make any inferences to that being the case. So I would love to have seen the conversation go in that direction and really feel like this year, out of all years, I'm focusing on what's going to make RJ better, not just what is good for an NBA player in the league. I'm trying to see. I've seen 4 years of RJ. I know what he does well. I know what he doesn't do well. So what can I do to make him be the most efficient basketball player out there for himself and for the organization he's a part of? That's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to hear. And I didn't necessarily get that. So, I don't know. Because I don't want to be that guy. Like, I like RJ Barrett. I want him to succeed. RJ Barrett succeeds, the Knicks succeed. Like, he's a really important piece to the Knicks. If RJ Barrett has a good year, the Knicks might be crazy this year, because Julius Randle's going to give you what Julius Randle gives you in the regular season, especially. Jalen Brunson, we know what he looks like he's going to give because he's been giving it. Even in lesser roles with Dallas, he was still a really good bench player for them. Josh Hart is he's hard nosed, like, dirty knuckles type player. He's going to play the same way he plays every year. And DiVincenzo hopefully adds some of that to the mix as well. Better ball handling, better passing, orchestrating out there, creating opportunities for his teammates. Add that with what you expect Quickly to do. I don't think Quickly will be as inconsistent as he was early in the season last year. I don't think that Grimes will be as spotty with his play, even though he had some really decent numbers for the whole season. I don't think he'll be as spotty with his play, especially what we saw in the playoffs. So I think there's improvements all around. And if RJ plays well, the Knicks could be a problem. A problem. That's all I'm saying. So that's what we hope. We want RJ to play well. We want him to be good out there. That's it. I don't need RJ to be a superstar. I don't need RJ to be an all-star even. I need him to play like he could be considered, but I don't need him to actually be that good to be an all-star, because that may be tough, guys. Remember, there's a lot of different guys on this team now that can, command the basketball. It's not going to be as easy for RJ to just go crazy. Like, RJ was a focal point of a team that really didn't have a lot of weapons. We had Julius, we had RJ, we had Marcus Morris. You know what I mean? And then after that, we started to bring in the other young guys. Still, Julius, RJ, the constants. Then we bring in Fournier and Kemba. But still, RJ was in that top four. Now, because of other things on the defensive end and some inconsistency, RJ may, find himself looking like he's the fifth player or the sixth player sometimes. Not six, but maybe fifth with the different options we got. So it may not be as easy for RJ to think of himself in that way and play like he's that type of player. All he needs to do is be the best RJ he can be. That sounds so cliche, but listen, it's the truth. That's what we need. That's what we need. And you guys know this is a make or break season for RJ. I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say that. Think about it. He's been in the league 4 years, 5th year now, right? He's already into his new deal. Expectations are high. If he has another bad season, the Knicks are going to try to get him out of here. I don't care what anybody else thinks. Let me tell you, the Knicks are going to try to get him up out of here. If he has another inconsistent season, it may not be easy because his value will go down, but I think that's what the case will be. I don't expect him to have another bad season, though. I expect him to be better. We'll see. Where was I? Carrie, no. He said, "Don't kill me," but there is a slight chance of Kevin Knox return. Unfortunately, there is a slight chance of that happening. There's very slight. Only because of his size. One thing Kevin Knox has for him is the fact that he's like 6'9", 6'10", whatever he is. That is one benefit to him. And as he's getting older, his body, he's filling out a little more. He's getting a little bigger, so that's helpful. I just don't know what to expect from the young fella. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough with him. I mean, and I think he'd be happy to come back to the Knicks and know that he is not guaranteed playing time. He's that type of player that, but I don't know how effective he is. A guy like Kevin Knox, if he don't play, how effective will he be when you actually need him, when you got to get him out there in a spur of the moment type situation when he has no chemistry out there on the court? Not, we've seen that in the past and he didn't really show much. So I don't know. Oh, look at that. Stream Elements look at that. Thanks for subscribing, Alfred Griffin. Appreciate you. Thank you. And shout out to Stream Elements for pointing that out, man. Stream Elements is on my side. Appreciate you guys. Kerry Cox says Knox had better stats than Obi last year. Hey, listen, that may be true, but I mean, in fairness to Obi, guys, I know look, I'm not throwing Obi too big of a life net. Obi kind of hasn't always done what he needed to do out there either, but playing time is important, man. Playing time is important. So it does help when you can get minutes. But you also have to do something with the minutes. I get it. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. But I hear you, Carrie. I hear you. And that's the problem too. And that's part of the reason why I think the Knicks will never consider bringing a guy like Knox back, even if he has the size. His defense was and still is his drawback. And if we've known one thing, you ain't with the defense, Thibodeau's gonna find a way either not to play you or to get you up out of here. So, yeah. Jarrell Williams is in the building. Salute. He says, fire Drew Hanlen. It's tough. It's tough. You know, Drew Hanlen, he's heard all the talks. He's heard all the words that you guys are out there saying about his client. And he's not with it. He is not with it. According to Fan Nation through SportsIllustrated.com, Drew Hanlen was mentioning from the Big Nick Energy interview. He said, when we try to wake up his muscles, that's RJ, and warm up, we do drills in slow motion and then go fast to exceed his body. So there's actually a plan in place as to why you see him moving at a certain pace early, and then they try to ramp up his movements and get him to show burst, right? So he'll go from real slow to dunking, and everybody says, look how slow RJ is, even though he pulled up to the gym 5 minutes ago. Instead of us touching our toes, we start slow with methodical movements, then go into exploding and dunking. So what he's basically trying to tell Knicks fans is that when you see RJ coming in, working on different things, and he's moving slow, don't just assume that that's his normal speed. We are trying to work on certain things, and because we haven't gotten into a whole bunch of stretching and other things to kind of loosen up, we move slowly like that, and then we get into the burst movements, the dunking, the trying to explode and get past your defender and all that type of stuff. So that's, I guess that's how they decide to work. So maybe he's heard the words of people like RJ looks slow out there, and he's trying to tell you guys, RJ may be slow, but he's not as slow as you thought. Like, that is actually for a reason. That's coming from the trainer himself. You know what I mean? So got to take that for what it is. We can't argue with it if that's the plan. If he's giving you a legitimate reason as to what it is, all right, okay, it is what it is. Hanlen also said people are going to continue to hate on him, RJ that is, until some of these accolades roll in. If he ends his career with a couple of all-star appearances and the championship, he'll really be proud of what he's able to accomplish. Yeah. So that's pretty much the soundbite from the interview. Let me share this too, so that if you haven't, I'm sure a lot of people have already seen the video, but put that up there. Can I blow that up? Let's see. Yeah, okay. I mean, this is what it is. Yeah, so and this is just RJ practicing getting to the rim, using his strength, and some people might say even this looks slow to them. I mean, look, the one thing I will say about RJ is, even if he looks slow, if he's not as athletic as some of the other players around the league, the guy gets to the rim, and you can see he has strength, and he looks like he's got a little bit more strength this year. It looks like he's slightly a bit bigger this year too. So I think he's going to be able to get to the rim. As slow as he may look to a lot of guys out here, he's going to get to the rim, and that's all that matters. If he gets to the rim, it's all about him finishing, right? So it don't matter how fast he does it, as long as he does it. There's other guys in the NBA that we look at and we say, yo, what's going on with this guy's first step? He's got no handle. He can't break down his defender. He can't get to the rim. RJ gets to the rim at will. So I know there's a lot of people that always say, well, what is RJ really good at? What can he do? And, we're still trying to find that out. What is he, excellent at? One thing he is excellent at is getting to the rim. He can get to the rim whenever he wants to. As slow as you want to say he is, that handle didn't look that bad on that play right there. But as slow as you want to say he is in the handle and stuff, he gets to the rim. He just bullies his way in there. Look at that. And I know you're looking at him playing whoever that is, but he does that against real NBA players too. So, yeah. It is what it is, folks. I just we got to kind of just rock with what's going on with RJ and hope for the best, man. Hope for the best. I think I said this on Steph's show, Dope Soul Sports Talk. If you guys haven't checked it out, please do. Go show your love and support for her. She's doing great things. And she always puts on a good show. I said that I think that this will be RJ's best year in the NBA. Because I think he's in the position where he has to show and prove. All right. This is his first year of the big money, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this is the first year of the new contract. This is the year where other guys are primed to step up, right? They can start making RJ look like an afterthought. If Quickly has a good season and Grimes has a good season and Julius has a season like he had last year and Jalen Brunson has a season like he had last year and Dante DiVincenzo comes in and plays well, that's 5 guys. How's that going to make RJ look? This is a make or break year for RJ Barrett, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have to come into this year and do the damn thing. He has to. He has to. And I expect that he will. I don't know if it means that he's going to have to make an adjustment and say, look, instead of taking this open 3, if it's not in the corner or if it's somewhere, I may pass it up. I may try to, break down my defender and put it on the floor. Whatever it is, if he puts himself in better positions, if the Knicks start opening up their offensive package where they start setting more screens and back cuts and curls and stuff to get these guys better looks at the basket, whatever it is. I just think that they need to work with RJ, and RJ needs to figure out what's going to be best for him to look like a player that's contributing to this team and doing what we need him to do. And I will say, in fairness, playoff RJ looked pretty good. So if he can kind of really work off of that and keep that going, add a couple more elements to it, like a mid-range shot, and make that consistent, RJ could be exactly what we need him to be. And also, he's got to improve the defense. He played a little better defense in the playoffs, though, but he's got to improve that. Just try to stay in front of your man. He's got a 6'6". He's 6'6" or 6'7". I don't know if he grew. They said he grew. I don't know. He's 6'6" or 6'7". He's got to be able to stay in front of his opposing player and try to affect the shot. If he can just do that, I know it's not easy because he is a little slower footed than some of these guys, but he's got to try to figure out the best way to do it. And use that strength he's got. If you can bully your way into the paint to get easy layup opportunities, then use that same strength you got to keep other guys out of the paint or keep them from getting to their spots. Watch video. Goes back to watching video too. Watch what guys like to do when you're playing these guys. Like, oh, he likes to go right. Oh, he likes to do this. Oh, before he makes his move, he does one dribble. Like, pay attention to all that. I don't know what different guys do, but guys have tendencies. Not everybody, but a lot of guys do have tendencies. And so you can kind of pinpoint that and, add that to your defensive idea. Like, okay, this is what I got to do tonight. This is what he's going to be trying to do. Let me, try to anticipate. whatever it is. Jarrell Williams says, if it's not Chris Brickley, you need to train with the team trainers. So Jarrell is definitely, he's not rocking with Drew Hanlen. He's like, it's time for RJ to make a change. He believes RJ, he says Drew Hanlen is working on the same thing with RJ, the same thing he does basically every year. Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you because we saw a little video and it showed us similar things that we've been seeing. So I can't say nothing against it. Yeah. Shout out to A Train in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Knicks 100 said, I'm not sure Knox loves basketball. Yeah, I don't know either, man. It is what it is. Like he's had a real, some of it has to do with him, but he's had a kind of tough road in the NBA in his young career. So a lot of it's on him, but you never know. Like, you ever been in a situation where you didn't do something well, right? You got called out for it or whatever, and you were like, how can I get better? But it doesn't happen overnight, and maybe it takes a while for it to click. Like, what can I do to really make myself better? How can I improve on this? And you just can't get it. Like, it takes you some time, and like things are just not coming the way you want it to happen, and it's just not happening. And then finally, one day, could be a year later, whenever it is, oh, I get it. So now I can do this better now. Then maybe you get traded to another team. Or this could be in any situation. The circumstances change. Your manager, switches up. Now you get a new manager, right? But the new manager has been told who you are, right? They know who you are. Or even on a team, the team has seen the video of you. They know who you were. But now you're like, no. I mean, yeah, that was me, but now I know how to do this. I get it now. But they're like, okay, well, we weren't really expecting you to be ready to do that yet. So we're not going to give you what, we're not going to give you that opportunity. We need somebody else who can do it right now. So we're going to rock with him. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you worked on it, and we'll see. But you don't get the opportunity to show that now, okay, now you finally get it. Now you got this going. And that could also be an issue with a young player like a Kevin Knox too. Some of the things maybe he wasn't doing well before, maybe he's improved on them. But he's moving around different places, and they've already got people in place that do what they need them to do. So, he's kind of a little bit of an afterthought as well. You're going to get garbage minutes. You're going to get minutes to play when maybe somebody's seriously hurt. You're not going to really get a really good look, because that time that you had when you came into the league as a prospect, it's not the same anymore. We've moved on. Now how can you be a good role player for our organization? And if we need you, we need you. And if we don't need you, please sit on the bench and cheer your teammates and be a good supporter of the squad. That's where Knox is right now. So that's tough. Kerry Cox believes Spider will be here as an unrestricted free agent. We'll see. We'll see. Juan B is in the building. He said, respect to Ron in the chat. The notion that certain moves will be made or teams won't use a player to get something of value before letting a player walk instead is wild. Things won't be so simple. I hear you. Knicks 100 says, you just can't see it because it's not fully polished yet, but RJ's skill set has definitely grown. Well, what I will say is what I saw from him in the playoffs, the way he was attacking the rim, and we saw it last year in the regular season. He had certain games where he was attacking the rim like relentlessly, right? He had moments where he was unstoppable getting to the rim, and his layup package was working that day. Well, should I say those days, the games that I saw when he was really doing it well. Like, he was just going back to back to back. When he got the ball, he was into the paint scoring. And we saw a lot of that in the good games that he had in the playoffs. If he keeps that going, That's a benefit. That's going to help him because what that does is it puts the defense on their heels. And so now they're not necessarily worried about what he's going to do from the perimeter. They're worried about him getting past them, getting to the rim. Right. And so he can use that to get that little separation, that little distance he needs to do a nice little quick pick and pop. Or maybe it's a crossover dribble into into a pull up, whatever it is. He has that opportunity to start doing that. But it doesn't have to be a 3-point shot. That's what RJ has to really get wrap his head around. 2 points is 2 points. 3 points is 3 points. Yes, it's better, but 2 points consistently will help this team and it's going to benefit his game overall. Let me see. S. Brooklyn says, what RJ needs to work on is his decision making. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think he does need to work on his decision making. I don't think he takes a ton of bad shots. What I think RJ does sometimes is he gets tunnel vision when it comes to his calling his own number, and he forces the issue. So that's the problem when you have a player that is slow-footed and doesn't really have that explosiveness that other players have, doesn't have that, he's not overly athletic, right? But he finds a way to bully his way into the paint. And he can do it at will. But sometimes players say, okay, well, his outside shot is not falling. We don't got to worry about that. Let's stack the paint. You know what I mean? Now he's trying to force his way through 2 or 3 players, and you got open guys out on the perimeter waiting for the ball, like, oh, what's going on? I'm right here. Which is what we saw last year with Obi, and why Obi got mad and they had that little shouting match on the bench. So he's got to work on that. You can't be selfish, man. You got to believe in your teammates. You can't get anywhere in a team sport like basketball. If you are not the guy who can call your own number and it's automatic, you can't be selfish. You got to believe in your teammates. There's some guys out there that are so good they can call their own number. All right, I see you, but I got this. That's them. There's not many of them out there. So RJ is not one of them right now. I don't know if he ever will be, but I'm telling you, he's not one of them right now. So he needs to, believe in yourself, but believe in your teammates equally. Let's see. Knicks. R9 Pudge says trade RJ to Cleveland. Boulevard says RJ got to step up. Knicks 100 said RJ needs to do nothing but hit his free throws. Well, hit his free throws is important. It is important. I will say that. He's definitely got to continue to do that. But if he is going to be left open in the perimeter for 3-point shots and he keeps taking them and he's not knocking them down, he's going to hurt the team. So, I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a coach like Thibodeau who's going to give you the rope to go out there and do what you want to do. But if it's not working, then you look like you're the heel, right? Now you're the guy who's messing everything up. Yeah, coach is saying, go ahead, take the shot. If you're open, take it. But if I'm missing all these shots, they ain't worrying about the coach. They're worrying about me missing the shots. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. He needs to just be smarter about the different shots he takes. If you got it going, you got it going. But if you don't got it, hey, man, figure out something else to do. Yes, A Train. That's what it sounds like. A typical RJ season. But like I said, I don't want to give as fans, especially fans of the Knicks, we jump out the window really quick. You know what I mean? You know what this show is about, right? I tell you all the time, you got to know the ledge, and we're here to help get through it, right? If we're jumping out the window, we got to work together to figure out how to not do that. We don't want to do this.
See if I know the ledge.
Yeah. So that's not what we want to do. And with regards to RJ, we got to give him some time to see what actually, not only has he been training with Drew Hanlen, but this year he actually is playing with Team Canada. He's going to be around a bunch of his peers. He's going to be around one of his homies. in SGA. Maybe they can work on some things. They've been practicing together. Maybe he'll come out of this experience playing better basketball for the Knicks next year. So let's give him a shot. Let's wait and see. Because we did it last year with the Knicks themselves. We jumped out the window. We was like, oh, this team might stink. Look at how they're playing. Next thing you know, Thibodeau was on the hot seat. Then he cut the rotation. Next thing we know, the Knicks won like 6 or 8 in a row, whatever it was. Then they lost a couple. Then they go on another streak. And at the end of the season, they won 47 games and they made the playoffs. They beat the first round series against Cleveland. They beat the Cleveland in the first round series. Then they made it to the second round. So we can't always go crazy. We got to let everything play out and see what we actually get. Maybe RJ comes into this season and he's less inconsistent than he was. Maybe, I think RJ's going to have his moments where he doesn't look that great, but maybe they're not as many this year. Maybe he starts to look better. So we'll give it a moment. We'll see. Kevin Middleton says RJ needs a new trainer. He may. You might be right. But I think he'll find out after this year. He'll know for sure. Keith Turner's in the building. What up, Keith? Hope you're doing well, brother. Good to see you as always. Knicks won today is in the building. Salute. Good to see you. CC, my guy Catanese is in the building. He says, looking at RJ, he was a trade away from getting Donovan Mitchell. Then your employer in the following 2 weeks extends. Take in mind how we would deal with that situation. I mean, yeah. CC says it's a business, never personal. What kind of mindset would you enter your season in? Yeah. I think RJ has enough bulletin board material to fuel his confidence and fuel what he wants to do this season in the NBA. I think he's blocked out a lot of it because he's been dealing with it since he's been in the league. He's been, a rookie that has had decent numbers. His first season, his second season, he actually had a really good season, and he was left off list with other rookies, and which made no sense at that time. Now, the year after that, the third year and the fourth year, him not being on those certain lists, okay, it's understandable. You could see why, because he's just not playing up to par as his peers are. But he's always had this situation where he's been left off list, and I think he's kind of blocked that out and ignored it and just went out there and played basketball for the Knicks and, worried about that. But I think he really should look to other things. Like, stop looking at individual numbers and saying, okay, I need to average 20 points per game to be recognized and to benefit my team. Like, if I average 20 points per game, I'm going to help my team. No. If you average 20 points per game, that means nothing to the team if you're taking 40 shots and if you're inefficient. What means something to the team is if you go out there and score your points in an efficient manner. You look to your teammate to the right, you look to your teammate to the left, and if they're open, you pass them the ball. Or you draw the double team and dish it to somebody and create opportunities for your teammates. That's what helps your teammates. Or if there's a ball that falls right, to your left, you grab that loose rebound and get another opportunity for the team. Or if there is a player on the opposing team that's trying to score and you get in their way and stop them from scoring, that's how you help your team. It's not the 20 points per game. That's not doing it. That's not what we need. That's not what the Knicks need. It's year 5. We need more. It's year 5. So I hope RJ's mindset is that. I hope it's not, I need 20 points per game. I hope it's not. Because it's year 5. We need more. Dunny got it in the building. Salute. What's good, man? Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. And see, and that's part of the point that I was saying. I don't think Drew Hanlen is a bad trainer. I think he's a good trainer, a really good trainer. What I said before is what I'm going to say again. And this is me personally. I don't know how everybody else feels in the chat. Sometimes what you work on with one guy is not what works for another guy. And I'm not saying that Drew is definitely saying, oh, okay, I know Jason Tatum is athletic. I'm going to tell RJ to do exactly what Jason Tatum is doing. No. But what I'm saying is Drew Hanlen needs to make sure he caters and tailors whatever workout regimen he has for RJ Barrett specifically, especially in year 5. You have 4 years of watching RJ play basketball. You know what he can do well. You know what he hasn't done well. He needs a specific workout regimen for himself after what we saw last season. Doesn't matter what you're doing with Kevin Garnett or what you're doing with Tatum. I mean, Kevin Durant. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter what you're doing with those guys. It's about RJ Barrett. What works for him or what can work for him. Maybe it's something he's not doing that we need to, have him start working on. If you guys remember last year in the playoffs, when RJ started to have a much better playoff run, Drew Hanlen, I mentioned this too at the time. Drew Hanlen said on Twitter that they saw something in RJ's shot and they worked on it. Okay. Well, whatever you saw in his shot, hopefully you continue to work on it the same way coming into this season. And hopefully whatever else you saw in his game last year that wasn't working, you work on that and improve on that. That's all I'm saying. Make the proper adjustments. Don't worry about there's a baseline of stuff that you work on with every player, right? But now with a guy like RJ who's giving you 4 years of information, 4 years of data, right? You don't have to guess. You know exactly what he does well and exactly what he doesn't do well. So it should be easy to figure out what do we need to do to get your game to a better, more efficient, consistent level. That's all I'm saying. It's pretty simple to be. Kerry Cox still thinks Dante's coming off the bench. He may be coming off the bench. You may be right. Nick Yak is in the building. Salute to you, Nick Yak. Appreciate you, my brother. I'm going to get into your comment a little bit. I'm starring it. So once we get into this next segment, I will definitely start talking about that. Bricks Nation is in the building. Salute, Bricks. Appreciate you. Walter's already going out there. I mean, I'm with you. He says Knicks will win 50 games this year. I like it. Bricks Nation says Knicks fans expecting chocolate to taste like vanilla. Look, I'm doing it again, guys. I can't stop. Got a deal. I got the taste for the coffee. I need that. Alan Alford in the building. Salute. What's good? Unfortunately, guys, a lot of people have been asking me about him. Unfortunately, I can say that I have not heard from him. I hope he's okay. I hope he's doing well. I did reach out. I have not heard back, and I haven't seen him anywhere. So, I hope everything's good. So, for those asking about D's World of Hoops, I have not seen or heard from him. I have reached out, and I don't know what's going on. So, that's all I can say right now. What up, Ron? He says, Alan Alford says, hope all is well with the family. Question, can we justify giving quickly the bag along with Hart and Dante? Where the minutes coming from with Tibbs playing 9? Still need to balance squad. Yeah. I think you have to. I think you can, and I think you have to justify giving quickly the bag because, listen, The good thing about Quickly is a young player and he's got talent. You know what I mean? It's not like we don't know what to do with this guy we got on our team. We give him the money and we don't know what to expect. Quickly, unlike RJ, has some things that he already has in his bag that look pretty good and he can get better at. And right now, overall, he looks like a better player than like an RJ going forward if he continues to grow and work on these things. So he's something you can sell, right? So giving Quickly the money, the market, the market value for what he may be worth is not a bad thing, because if you find out that certain players are playing well and Quickly doesn't necessarily fit the system, or Quickly wants to start and you just can't see yourself starting Quickly, you can move Quickly. So giving Quickly 100 million for 4 years or something like that, I don't know if it would have to be a 4-year or 5-year deal, whatever, but giving him 100 million, I know some fans are like, oh, what? Look at what Josh Hart got, right? And look at what players similar have gotten. And with the money going up, the CBA agreement changing and all this stuff, giving Quickly that type of money is not that crazy. And I don't think it's a losing situation. I think it's kind of a win-win in a way, because if Quickly gets that money and plays like he's been playing, but even better, then he's worth the money. And we got a player here. We don't have to worry about him. He's here. And if he plays the way he has played already, like how he played last year and previous years, and we gave him the money, and yet we don't know if he is going to take the next step right now. Like he may take the next step 2 years from now, but we might need it now. And we say, we can go out there and get somebody right now who has already passed that step and is ready. Then you trade him, and his money wouldn't be that much of a burden for a team. It's not like you're giving the guy 35 million per year or 40 million per year. You're giving him something around somewhere in between 20 and 25. I'm not saying he'll get 25, but it's somewhere in between there, most likely. So, and another thing with these Knicks contracts is they find a way to make these contracts very team friendly. I mean, so it may not be such a bad thing. We might be better off just taking care of him, one less headache to worry about. And if we decide going forward that it doesn't fit the expectation for what we have for this team and the direction we want to go in, we can flip Quickly. Quickly's not Fournier. We can flip Quickly. We can get something for Quickly. So, and that money is a good amount of money that helps towards signing a bigger star type player. So yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, and I don't think as fans we should be scared of it. I was worried about it before, but you take some time to kind of look at what's going on and understanding what you're dealing with. It makes more sense. I think we should sign Quickly, give them the money, and then if it's not going to work out later, we flip them. But for now, it could turn out to be exactly what we need to do going forward. Johnny Davis is in the building. Salute. What's good, bro? It's been a minute since I seen you in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Always good to see you. Ala Wise is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you, bro. Ala Wise said market value speaks for itself. Ask Cam Reddish. 4.6 million for 2 years. That's incredible, right? Imagine that. All the expectations that Cam Reddish had coming out of Duke. Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. So that's pretty much the RJ stuff. But now let's get into Josh Hart. Because I think personally, guys, the Josh Hart news is fantastic. And every time that I look at something, I'm like, wow, okay. And I'm like, I can deal with it. I'm okay with it. It gets even better, because the Knicks find a way to make the deals look team friendly, and you can't even be mad at it. You cannot be mad at it. So Josh Hart has signed. I mean, I don't know if it's official. I know they were working on the final details of it, but I guess it's official. Um, Signed a 4-year deal worth $81 million. And it, you know, for what he means to the New York Knicks, it seems like a good deal. Some other team might say, I don't know if I want to give Josh Hart that amount of money to be on my team. But remember, he's not on your team. He's on the Knicks, and the Knicks need Josh Hart for what he does desperately. Because prior to Josh Hart, we didn't have that extra oomph that we needed. We didn't have that dog that get your hands dirty type of guy. And I think every NBA team that has championship aspirations needs a guy like that, whatever it may be. Patrick Beverleys of the world. I don't even know if some of the other guys I was going to mention, if they're still that way. They're getting a little older, so they don't command that same presence. But you get what I'm saying. You need that type of dog, a Marcus Smart type. And I think it's great. It's fantastic that he was able to. They took care of him. They told him, look, we want to bring Dante DiVincenzo in here. We know you're ready for your deal. Would you consider signing a 1-year deal at 12 million, something, 12 million and whatever other dollars it was, and we will take care of you a little later after you sign that deal. And the Knicks lived up to their commitment. They showed and proved. And that's dope. See, that's a good sign. So as much as like we get mad at how the Knicks have been handling the Fournier situation initially, and how they handled the Cam Reddish situation, or even some people might say how they handled the Obi situation. When you look at something like this, you can appreciate that this is how you take care of a player on your team. You ask him to do something to help the team, and then you take care of him after. This is how you do it. This is how the business of basketball should work. Brooklyn Butch is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here as always. Nick Yak says, Ron, Josh Hart that played for the Knicks last year was certainly worth it. That points to the question: is Josh Hart worth the money? And Nick Yak feels he is. Kevin Middleton says, Josh Hart got his money. Who cares at this point if he's worth it? He's the type of player a team always wants, so they will take his contract. He's been in every big deal, so we won't be stuck like Evan. That's very fair. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's he definitely has a value. He definitely does. I think that the Josh Hart deal is a fantastic deal. I think he definitely deserves it. And I think the Knicks are fortunate to be able to have had the chance to acquire him and keep him. Like he didn't even think about going anywhere else, which is great. It's fantastic. I mean, Brunson has a lot to do with it too, but he likes New York. He likes what he's seen, and the Knicks have a lot to do with making that be the case. They made him feel welcome, and in turn, he's shown that he cares about New York and wants to be here. So I'm rocking with it. I like it. I think you can't put a price on intangibles when you're really good at them. I also think that Josh Hart has that type of game that you just never know how good it can be on any given night. Like You see what Josh was doing for the Knicks. Some nights he just go out there and, maybe score 10 points, 12 points, whatever it is. But you never know. He may come out with 18 rebounds. He may lock down the best player on the other team on different cases when they're trying to get a big shot. He may create a turnover that spurs a Knick run that can turn the game in our favor. Like, he's just that special of a player. I don't know if you can quantify that. So I think it's definitely a situation where he's worth it. And I think we are fortunate and lucky to be in a position where we're starting to get players that look like they're worth the money. The new Knicks, City and Squad, is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. As always, I hope your show is doing well too. Organic Fanatics, podcast. Man, so much going on these days. So much going on, man. So much great content out there too. Please support all these different shows. Like, comment, subscribe, and show them love, man. They need it. They need it. Don't just assume just because a new show is bubbling and you've tuned in or heard me talk about it that you don't got to do your part. I ask that you all do your part and go show these shows love, man. Show them that you rock with them, man, because they're just like you. They're just like me. They love the Knicks. They want to talk about the Knicks, and they want the Knicks to be, a good organization, good franchise, and one day hopefully have a chance to win the championship. So we're all in this together. No doubt. Always, bro. Always. So with Josh Hart, the other thing I want you guys to think about is what would happen if, God forbid, if Jalen Brunson couldn't play for an extended period of time? Do you think the Knicks would be okay with quickly running the point, right, until Brunson came back, with the assistance of Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo? What's your thoughts on that, guys? Do you think the Knicks, if Jalen, God forbid, if Jalen Brunson had to miss an extended period of games and quickly had to be out there running the show for the most part, with the addition or with the assistance of Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, do you think the Knicks would be okay? What's your thoughts? I'd love to hear it. Ala Wise says Josh Hart was a good signing and very movable. Agreed. JJ brought up a really good point. That last year of the $81 million 4-year deal that Josh Hart signed is a team option for about $22 million. So think about that, guys. So we're talking like it's really like a 3-year, $58 million deal. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. The Knicks have the team option, so if they don't want to bring him back for that 4th year, they don't have to. I think this is a great deal. It's a great deal. Listen, say what you will about the Knicks. Do they show me sometimes that they're scared money and they don't like to make money? No. I don't want to say that. But no. But do they show me sometimes that, they're not as aggressive when it comes to certain things? Yes. Do I feel like sometimes they're a little scared out there? Yeah. But they're frugal. And when they're ready to make a move, they make that move. When they know the move that they want to really make, they do make it. And when they make it, it's a good deal. Like the Julius Randle contract is a great contract. The Jalen Brunson contract is a great contract. The RJ Barrett contract is a little iffy right now. That's the only one We got to wait and see with that one. We don't know yet. So, and I don't want to say that's a bad contract because RJ can make that a better looking deal by just going out there and doing the damn thing. But now this Josh Hart deal, it's a fantastic deal. They know how to get these deals done where it benefits the player and the organization. So far, I can say they're shooting at like 90% when it comes to getting these contracts done. The 10% I'm going to give, it's a strong 10% for RJ. We'll see. We'll see how that deal pans out. But yeah, can't complain. I can't complain when it comes to them doing their deals. Pudge says Jay Hart he better come back with a consistent three-pointer. It's definitely something I think he should work on because this team needs it. And there's been too many opportunities where he was open for the shot and hesitated. Now, the funny thing is, those times where he was open for the shot and hesitated is not something you want to see him do. You want him to feel a little bit more comfortable taking the shot. But I would love for RJ to take a page out of that book and not take the shot all the time and be a little hesitant. You know what I mean? Don't just let it fly every single time. Be a little hesitant and see, hey, maybe there's a better shot we can get out of this. I'm not just going to take what the defense wants me to take, especially when I don't got it going. Let's see if we can get something better out of it. One thing doesn't work for one guy might benefit another guy. Brooklyn Butch says, Ron, if you do some research on it, you will see they said the same thing about Paul Pierce. How did his career turn out? When you say Paul Pierce, in reference to who? Josh Hart, or are we talking about RJ Barrett still? Let me know, Brooklyn Butch, because I want to give you the right answer back, and I want to make sure I know who you're talking about. Pudge says JB, Spider, J Hart, Randall, Mitch, possibly this season. Yeah, it would be nice. Someone said the other day, I was dying laughing. I couldn't help myself. He said, "Is Donovan Mitchell ever in Cleveland?" I was cracking up. I said, "This is hilarious," because he is in New York throughout the whole damn offseason. And if he's not in New York, he's overseas in Spain or somewhere else working out with the rest of the players. They were like, "Is he ever in Cleveland?" Is what it is, man. It is what it is. Thank you, brother, as always. No doubt. You guys deserve it. You guys are good guys. I appreciate y'all. Jersey Shore 74 is in the building. He says, interesting. He says, Hart is too light in the backside, too slow to guard shooting guards. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. I can't say that I agree with you right now, but I can't say I disagree either. I got to take a look at that. That's an interesting statement, Jersey Shore. I'm going to have to look into that. I'm going to pay attention to that. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm definitely going to look to see if that's the case. We'll see. Because I find that the reason why I don't know for certain is because Josh Hart has a good first step and he moves pretty quickly. And that's why he's one of the few players on the Knicks that orchestrates and creates the fast break. That's why he grabs the rebound and pushes immediately. Takes it coast to coast if he has to. For someone who has that type of speed, I don't necessarily know if I could say that he's, slower than the average shooting guard. So I don't know. But I'm going to pay attention to it. I want to make sure I give your statement some value. So you could be right. I don't know. I got to check it out. But you gave me something to do some homework on. Steven Vargas says IQ is not ready. Well, we're going to find out. And maybe you're right. Mike Boy is in the building. Salute. What's good, brother? Hope you're doing well. Billy Goat in the building. Salute. He says Knicks would be better against certain teams defensively without JB. Quickly is a much better defender. That's true. That's true. But remember, two sides to every basketball game is the offense and defense. And as much as we know, Quickly has the ability to score. We've also seen Quickly get bottled up when it comes to clutch situations where we need a bucket from somebody on the team that's not Julius Randle or RJ Barrett. And we've watched Quickly get bottled up. He has had moments where he's gone off, but usually it's from the start of the game to the end of the game, he's hot. But when it's just a game where it's just, average Quickly, nothing too crazy, and then we need somebody to step up at certain moments, and Quickly's out there on the court. If Brunson was not available, we saw that Quickly struggled a little bit. And I'm not saying he won't get better. I think he will. You learn from it. Experience and time, you wind up getting better. Oh, Bricks Nation, man, if that was the case. Bricks Nation said it's going to be interesting to see if Mikal Bridges can become a first or second option guy this season. The Nets will once again let him spread his wings to see if he can really fly. Yeah. Yeah. So Pudge says, yeah, we won during the season when JB was out. So goes back to the importance of a guy like Josh Hart being here. And now you've got Josh Hart and you've got Dante DiVincenzo. So I think that shows the level of importance that he has for a team. Like he can definitely keep us, playing the same type of basketball that we are. That's the safety net, like I like to say. That's like Brunson is the reason why I thought RJ and Julius would have better seasons this year. Now Julius did because he played the way he normally plays, and it looked even better out there. RJ didn't. He actually had a worse season, but it had nothing to do with Jalen Brunson. I think RJ just had a real tough time finding his shot, and what he was trying to do out there on the court just wasn't working. He was struggling to get it. And I'm not gonna make excuses for him, but we know RJ was dealing with something personally too throughout part of the season. And he's a young guy, man. Everybody's human. So yeah, I think. And by the time the playoffs happened, more time had passed, so you can better deal with whatever you're dealing with emotionally. And I think he started to really get back to focusing on basketball and stuff like that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Like I said, I don't want to give these guys too many excuses, but in fairness to RJ, he was dealing with something that I think affected him emotionally. And he's a young guy. You gotta kind of think about some of that too. Knicks 100 says they pay players who've never been paid the most money they ever had. Ron, it really, it ain't really that special what Knicks are doing. I don't necessarily agree, Knicks 100, because they could have easily given Julius Randle at the time that, remember, he was coming off the most improved player season. They could have given him more than 116 million for 4 years. We could have easily gave him more money. He was at that time, he was allowed to, not I don't want to say allowed. What's that? Like, these players that have played in the league a certain amount of years, they're guaranteed to have a max level of money that they can, get paid for their contract. He could have got a lot more than 116 million. I think maybe an extra 30 or 40 million more, something like that, around there. To me, that's a lot of money. They didn't give it to him. He worked with them. He took what we gave him, and he, allowed us to have a little bit more money to go out and do something else with it. So I think that was Pretty shrewd business right there for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson, yes. If you want to say we gave him more money than he had ever made, right? But it's fair what you're saying in regard to Brunson because he hadn't shown that he necessarily deserved even that money that we gave him yet. But all he needed to do was play. But let's not forget, he also was dropping them big digits in the playoffs against Donovan Mitchell. And we've seen that when Luka wasn't out there on the court, he was averaging like 18 points or 19 points per game without Luka. So I think in the end, you're kind of right. You have a with Jalen, you kind of have a point. He wasn't going to get like nobody was just going to give him 150 million or 200 million or something like that without seeing how it actually looked out there on the court. Does he deserve it now? You know, maybe going forward he does, but we needed to see it first. So that's fair. With Jalen Brunson, that's fair. But in the end, it's going to look like an incredible deal. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Pudge says we actually might keep IQ just in case JB gets hurt. That is very true. Very, very true. All right. So let's do this, guys. I'm going to take a quick 2 to 3 minute break because I got all congested drinking this iced coffee and the fan is blowing right in my nose. And so give me a second and I'll be right back. All right. I am back. Sorry about that, folks. I feel better. I'm less nasally now. I can breathe. So annoying, man. I swear, I got to figure out something. I don't know why. Before this didn't happen. Now, every Saturday, now, every time I drink iced coffee, I'm having the same issue. It's the weirdest thing ever. And I don't know why it continues to happen. Oh, look at this. White Falcon is in the building. Salute, White Falcon. Good to see you, brother. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. What the hell does that mean? Jersey Shore says, damn, LOL. They said RJ was built for this city. What does that mean? What they trying to say by that? What does that mean? I don't know. And here's the thing. So first off, I think it's very interesting that they continue to hate on RJ. I don't know what that's about. And but let's give the guy a break. Let's give him a break. We put the expectations out there. We know what he needs to do. He's got to do some stuff. He's got to step up. But let's give him a chance to do it now. You know what I mean? It's like having an argument with your girlfriend or having an argument with your wife. She's mad about something. She expects you to do it and clean it up, whatever it is. But if they don't give you a chance to clean it up, then you're still like, oh man, I need a moment. Okay, let me show you. Now, as Knicks fans, RJ, we need to see what he can do. Let's give him a chance to show us what he can do rather than continuing to get crazy and down the guy. Let's give him a moment. We're still in the off season. We're not even at NBA basketball training camp yet. Let's give him a moment. And not for nothing, in the FIBA game so far, game one, I saw a little of the highlights of the game. I don't know about any other game since then. But for what I did see, he looked pretty good in that game. Kind of looked like what we saw in the playoffs. So hopefully he can continue doing what he's doing. Let's see. Oh, and I got guys, I don't know. Is everybody quiet? Everybody scared today? I put the link out there multiple times. Looks like nobody wants to talk today. It's an open platform. You guys are welcome. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind holding it down myself. I do it a lot. It's not an issue. But I do like the ability to go back and forth with you guys and have a good conversation. I also like them to allow you guys to come up and speak, because really on Monday nights and Thursday nights, it's not open panel. So Saturday is the only time where we really open it up to allow different people in the chat to come up and talk about whatever it is they want to talk about. So by all means, if the opportunity is there and you feel like you'd like to do it, don't be shy. You're welcome to come up and speak. The opportunity is always there. Yeah, well, I guess I think that ship is sailed, White Falcon. PG-13 is I don't think he's on the Knicks radar anymore, but I appreciate you always showing him love. Whoa. White Falcon says, gotta start Josh Hart. Grimes gotta go. Whoa. What happened here? What Grimes do to you? Yeah, I think it's a little early for that, no? I mean, it might be something we got to look into, but not yet. I think we're good right now. I think, Grimes is the guy that I think the Knicks can still use, man. I don't think we got to give up on him yet. What changed? What made you fall out of, favor with Grimes? Did he do something that you were like, that ain't gonna work for me? What happened? Inquiring minds want to know. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it's a little early for the Grimes hate right now. I would give the young man a little bit more time. Not quite yet. I'm not off the Grimes train as of yet. Let's give him a little bit more time, see what he can do. Deuce is third string. I see you guys are going back and forth about Deuce. I will say that what I did like from what I saw from Deuce recently was the he was playing with Chris Brickley in that Chris Brickley tournament thing. Well, not tournament, but the pickup game stuff. He looked like he was working on some things. It was nice to see him running back and forth. He was given oh shoot, the dude from Orlando. What's his name? The point guard from did he play with North Carolina? What's his name? Oh. Now I'm forgetting his name. He was giving somebody the business. A little bit. In Deuce ways, as much as Deuce can. Oh, look at this. I got somebody who's not scared to talk. What? Let's get him in here. Wiz.
Salute. Yo, man, what's up? I ain't scared of you. My Birdie Mac voice. I ain't scared of you. Oh man, what's up, Ron? How you doing, man? Holding it down like powerful man that you are.
Yeah, I've been holding it down like 2 weeks. I'm like, yo, man, I'm gonna lose my vocals. All this talking, all this me talk is too much.
I know, man. I have to get the salmon, grilled, and then I have to do the honeydews for the wifey. I'm actually right now. She's like, "You on that show?" I'm like, "I'm not on the show." And then she walks out the room. My man cave. She was back here messing with my stuff. And I'm like, let me jump on that. She's out the room. I gotta jump on shit. Go ahead.
Tell her, listen, I'm just doing a favor for Ron. He asked me what I was doing. I said, yeah, okay, I could come on. It wasn't me. I was requested. Say it like that. He requested me.
There we go. I'm gonna use that. All right, I'll tell you. Yo, man, but I followed you on Queen's show the other night. I don't know if you heard.
I heard you. I
had the camera on because I said I can follow Ron with the camera on because I know I look better than he does. So,
yeah. Listen. One thing I want to tell you is I'm not in the business of crushing people's dreams. So if that's how you feel about you, by all means.
I didn't sing on their show because I only say singing for your show, man. They can't pay me enough, to sing. So I said, I'm going to do Ron a favor so your audience grows when they start hearing Wiz going to sing on his show. So I want to save the song for you later, okay? A little bass, because I give somebody else a little rap. Because, my voice is baritone and I really don't need no microphone, but I use one anyway to make sure ladies hear what I say. I'm just, trying to say just a little something.
Look at you with your little old school with the hip hop 50th Wiz dropping the rhymes here, folks. What's going on here? He said a hip hop, a hip to the hip of the Wiz. Don't drop the Wiz. Calm down, B. Calm down, man. What you doing out here?
I don't want to get copyrighted and stuff. They take you out.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Oh, and by the way, guys, side note, if you guys haven't checked out, I think they're showing the replay. I'm not sure, but last night they were doing the concert at Yankee Stadium for 50 years in hip hop, and it was a really good show. So if you're into hip hop and you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It was really good. A lot of stars, a lot of guests that you grew up on out there. They did a really good job.
Absolutely, and actually, at Netflix, I called the Woman in Hip Hop. The other day, I watched. It was like three episodes, and I binged it. And I was like, man, I forgot all those ladies, because I all on, MC Light, of course, Queen Latifah,
right,
of course, my girl Salt and Pepper, geez, and I'm like, then everybody started dropping some names. I was like, oh, forget about Shantae. Shantae was
man.
And that girl, I didn't realize how young she was. Because they came at her hard, and I didn't realize she was so young. Because she came back harder. It was great, man.
Yeah, no, it was the Rock the Bells concert. That's what they were a part of. Yeah, they did a really good job with that as well.
All right, yeah, man. But you obviously your stuff, so I'm not gonna try to challenge your brain, your knowledge, and that kind of stuff.
Hey, man, I got a little something.
But yeah, man. Once people start mentioning my boy Deuce, or they start talking about, but even you giving RJ, another chance, Man, I don't share my take. I never had RJ in my scopes, man. I just always thought, uh, nice player, not number three. No, nice player, not number three. And I told him back then, I said, I wish we had the squad we had today as far as the front office and the fact that they either don't draft or they trade back. I would have probably loved a trade back on that one, or even hold out for a future first rounder. And if they had played their cards right, who knows who they could have had someone's first round pick, giving up the number three. Maybe they could have had Memphis first round pick or somebody else. Or even, better yet, San Antonio's first round pick for like this year. You know what I mean? It would have been nice if they traded back and go, San Antonio, you can have number three pick. We'll take your 2023 number one. And hopefully it ended up the same way where we come up with Scooter or Wemba. I would have been sitting 1 or 2 this year. Even though with this squad, who knows if they would have drafted them. They may have traded them back because these guys love to trade back. RJ, I'm sorry. I can't give him another year. Not as a starter, man. I obviously we have no choice. I wish him the best, but I just don't want another year with RJ. I'd love for us to make a move before the season start, and I just have to look forward to him, embarrassing us like maybe Obi will next year in the future. But as far as Brunson right now, Randall right now, since Randall's going to stay, I think this is an opportunity that, and then with KP, Kristaps having a little injury there at Boston, who knows if he's going to be able to go full strength and blend in with those guys. There's space right now for an opening for someone to break through the ECF. And I think we're a piece or so away from it. Of course, I don't want to bring in Tibbs because that's still my, Achilles heel. I think our Achilles heel. And that I always said if he had, all-star team, he'd probably play the first 5 guys 47 minutes. And the other guys would be on the bench for 1 minute to, okay, get him a break. Okay, come in at the end of the second quarter. All right, sit down for the rest of the game. I just think, but still, if he can actually even have a little bit of what he did last year, where he sometimes made some, flexible moves, I really think there's an opening here for us to make a breakthrough. I just don't think any team is dominant enough in the East for us not to make it to that finals. And again, I thought Boston would be it, but Kristaps, I can't believe he's working on another injury right now. I just did not believe that would happen. I just thought maybe this is going to be a guy who's turned it around. And who knows if he'll be healthy, 100% healthy. But if he is, that's the team that I worry the most about. Although I think Cleveland definitely got some potential fire coming through. But somehow, because maybe it's Cleveland, and because maybe Donovan Mitchell, JB matchup, we feel strong about that. Obviously, I don't think any one of them can stop, Randall. I think we can take Cleveland, but it won't be as easy as it was last season, last playoff. So, that's my little 2 cents I want to drop in there right now. But in the meantime, let's go through these other guys making some statement. Even Ala is making some wise statements there in the chat. I'm like, oh, these guys are dropping some knowledge.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Animal Lex, salute to you. He's like, are you watching US versus Slovenia today? I will. It is what it is. It is what it is. Whatever. Like, USA team is just so stacked as opposed to other teams that they're going up against. I just expect them to run away with this. I do. So, but I watch, I'm not going to not watch.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think only Canada has close to a team that kind of like competes with the US team, I think, talent-wise, or known talent by US players wise. So I think it should be a nice. We should have FIBA. We should have it pretty decent.
Yeah, I agree. I think so. Knicks 100 says wifey's like, where that salmon whiz.
I know. Actually, she's vegan. I'm borderline pescatarian. That's why you always hear with the salmon.
You always with the
Always,
salmon. Yeah.
during the week I do my jerk shrimp. Believe it or not. And so, because I'm Jamaican, you gotta have the jerk in there, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on, brethren.
Irie. Well, my man Shaw Powers is up in there, coming there, and he's also got some knowledge. Otherwise, I'll tell you, man. Otherwise, you gotta go right to Church Avenue and get you in New York.
There you
Okay,
go.
otherwise, you're right, man. I'm here in La La Land. I'm in here, LA too long, where maybe I'm getting a little soft with all the sunshine and all the beaches and all the fine women walking around half naked. So maybe I've
Yeah,
gotten a
it's
little
tough.
soft and scared.
It's tough. It's tough.
It is tough. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, it's very difficult, sir. I mean, and there been. I don't want. I can't spill the beans. The wife made us to the show later on.
All right, let's keep Wiz out of trouble. All right,
exactly.
Anyway. So, guys, if you look on the screen, you can see today, Saturday, August 12th, Team USA versus Slovenia at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports 1. So if you want to know what time and where to find them, it's on Fox Sports 1. And if you don't know where Fox Sports 1 is, contact your local cable provider and ask for anyway, whatever. You get it. You can find it. So 3:30 p.m. guys.
Next 100 talking about the ground shakes here too. I'm like, man, we get an earthquake once every 10 years. And if you're lucky, and you're with a foreign lady, the earthquake happens while you're with her, and she thinks like, "Damn, you're rocking my world." That's the bad.
Wiz has taken this show to another level, folks. Yes, thank you, Knicks 100. Cole Anthony was the player I was thinking about that Deuce was giving the business to a little bit. He was giving Cole Anthony a little bit much, and Cole. It's funny because I was watching a video of Keon Anthony, Carmelo's son, playing against Cole, and Cole was kind of showing him this is how the big boys do it, right? And Keon was getting mixed up a little bit over there, but Keon did have a really good jump shot, and he was putting that on display against Cole. But then you saw Cole in other workouts versus Deuce. Deuce was giving him the business a little bit. Cole was going back and forth with him too, but Deuce was giving him and then we saw that other workout video where Donovan Mitchell tore Cole Anthony's legs up, had him doing the ill bop over there. He could not hang with him. He had him backing up. He had him lost. He's lucky he didn't fall down. Yeah, he gave him the meanest crossover to the step back you could see. So yeah, Donovan Mitchell's a gangster, man.
Actually, he is, man. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. I love Donovan Mitchell, man. I love it. I know this will be a short backcourt. I know Grimes got a great future, man. Oh man, but that would be so sweet to have Mitchell. I mean, again, people they throw the lineup JB, Donovan. Who'll be the three though? Because we probably give up RJ and Grimes to get him. Let's say we ever did that. It's real lot.
Well, if that's the case, then the three's got to be Josh Hart.
Josh.
Well, and no, it doesn't have to be Josh Hart. I'm assuming it would be Josh Hart. It could be Dante DiVincenzo. They're the same height, basically.
Right, man. But I'll take that lineup. I mean,
you can't listen. As we gotta not forget, man. We cannot. It's not ideal, but we can't shortchange the benefit that a guy like Josh Hart or even Dante, but I would say Josh for the defensive side gives you, right? When it comes to playing taller players, he knows how to play defense. He figures out ways to make taller guys uncomfortable. Yes, if they get to their spot, can they rise up above him and shoot and make the yes, but that's why he works hard to try to make it uncomfortable for them to get to their spots. He tries to keep guys off balance. And I think with the fact that he does play decent enough defense that he can affect threes across the league and he rebounds like he's a 4, I think Josh Hart, if you had no other choice, would be an adequate person to put as a starter at 3 if you had to trade RJ Barrett.
Right. Now, actually, shockingly, this is my first. I really think it's possible now, as I think back to last year, that the season starts off and we see the weak. Let's say the weak point is the weak link is RJ. Is it? You think it's possible that Tibbs has the, you know, cojones to actually pull RJ like he did with the 4th year last year, and sit 20 plus million on the bench and threw Dante or Josh in there, and then have Fournier and RJ getting ready to get some cap space for next year? Because that would be crazy. I mean, it's not crazy actually. I think it's possible, especially if RJ starts off slow like he did. I mean, Tibbs is always about winning, right? To win first, and I think to a certain extent, I know RJ would be the biggest, toughest move to make to bench him, but man, he, like I said, he benched 40 million last year. You think he has the potential to even do that if we're going like 3-10 or something like that crazy happen?
We talking about Tom Thibodeau, and you're making it even easier for him to make the decision. We're going 3-10. You're giving him caveats like Thibodeau will do that if we're winning. You ain't got to worry about Thibodeau. Thibodeau don't care how much you're making. Thibodeau has shown that after what happened last year, early in the season, when his name got put on that block, like now you might be coming for me. That's when Thibodeau said, okay, I've been trying to play it a certain way and listen to the front office and work together. But now that my name's out there, I am just going to do what I need to do and what I want to do. So now I think the floodgates have been opened. Thibodeau's going to do whatever he wants now.
Wow.
I do think it don't matter. If RJ ain't playing right, RJ's going to be watching. He's going to be, they're going to give him a clipboard, give him a whistle or whatever. He's going to have to figure it out on the bench. Waiting with the coaches. He'll be there with Othello Harrington going over different options.
Jersey Shore. Say you better get one of the tower. Oh man. Actually, the only thing in the front office can push back at RJ is trade value. And instead of benching him, they'd be like, okay, we got to make a move ASAP, because that would diminish his trade value immediately if he gets put on the bench. And so, but yeah, you know what? I'm open to that possibility now, and I've been doubting Tibbs' flexibility in certain ways, but that one just like it was a light bulb for me that even RJ, I shouldn't say even RJ, because if I said even Randall or even Bronson, he could bench. No, I wouldn't go that far. But with RJ, there is an opening right there for him to drop, come off the bench. And if not, but I don't know about DNPs, but off the bench, I would not be surprised if that happens, where self-preservation, Tibbs is like, it's my last shot at my career. This is my chance to get a relatively talented team to the ECF and possibly, finals. Wow. That is crazy. Jersey Shore.
Listen, I'm just saying, this is to everybody out there, and you as well, Wiz. I'm just saying, keep that same energy. Keep that same energy, because if RJ Barrett gets busy, y'all gonna be like, oh, all right, maybe I was a little extreme on him. Maybe he deserved a second chance. Look, all I'm saying is we already seen pretty bad RJ. I don't think he's gonna get much worse. So keep that same energy. I tell you, he's desperate. I'm telling you, he's a back up against the wall type player right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him play better out there, and we got to see the turnaround, because there's reasons for it. So just keep that in mind.
Actually, so now when I followed you, here's my, I don't want to say counterpoint regarding back against the wall type players. I know players, when they last year of their contract, they ball out because they want to get a new contract. I've known players, I think I've known more where they just, like, where they go Cam or Knox or anybody else, just talking about Knicks alone, but players who desperately need that next contract and just couldn't pull it together.
Right.
And the thing is, if RJ really had the shot, like, you know, I mean, like a real, you know, consistent, accurate shooting skills at at the 2 or the 3 mid range or 3-pointer, I would actually say, you know what, I'd be more confident that he's going to put it together because he knows, you know, that Tibbs will pull him or literally he's looking at being on trade block and the pressure is on us, New York City Lights. And although I forgot who called me out the other day when I said it sounded like I contradicted myself when I said RJ in a moment will shine. And a moment like that, you know, final shot against Celtics, he'll do that for a moment. But overall, during a season, through multiple games, it seems like he presses so hard, he messes his own game up. And I think, like you said earlier, and I thought that before, is that he looks for trying to hit numbers and not trying to hit victories. And if that's where he's pressing for the numbers, then it messes game up completely. So I think the playoff was the one moment where he probably saw if he just played relaxed and let the game flow and let, like, you know, Tibbs does, you know, let game dictate his play, you know, read and react, then it's a better game for him. Personally, I'm not gonna say I was trading pro basketball players, but in other dimensions, you know, from the Marines and martial arts and stuff, I think trading players on spontaneous reactions, kind of like Grimes is a lot. When Grimes plays, he's looking for the next move right away, maybe too much. He's looking for the next pass immediately. He actually is a step ahead of the move when the ball's on its way to him, where RJ looks like he catches the ball, then he looks for the pass or looks for the move or something. He thinks after getting the ball, not right before getting the ball. So that's what I think RJ's problem would be is right now is that he's not thinking the next move. He's thinking, okay, give me the ball. Okay, I got it. Now what do I do? Do I pass? Of course, he doesn't think pass. Where he goes, do I have a shot? Can I drive? And then I normally takes one of those two as his first choice, and then he decides, oh man, let me pass the ball, or let me just drive and get blocked. So I think RJ's thing is he doesn't have that apprehension to know the next move, to think ahead. And that's where if he had that, I think it's over for both players. I think that's where RJ will shine. But as far as RJ getting the ball and then doing what he does and being a better shooter, I mean, maybe he's being fixed right now, but I just don't know if that's in RJ's game. And again, the slow start worries me a little bit, but I'm ready to be pleasantly surprised, man. I'm not saying don't give it to him, but I think RJ can definitely make a step, but also lead more towards him actually being who he is. A steady improvement, except last year maybe he regressed some during the season compared to previous year. But steady improvement, and a steady improvement for us right now is not enough for even the ECF or the finals from the RJ spot.
Right. I mean, I understand that. That's fair. Shout out to Dwayne Dennis in the chat. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for being here. And also shout out to Deron Wayne in the building. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Shout out to my guy Sha Powers. Smash those like buttons, like he said. Appreciate you as always, Sha and Divine for Knicks Real Talks. Guys, as I always say, go support, show love to the show, and like, comment, all that good stuff, man. Another great Nick content show in the community. Please show them love. Shout out to Kareem Grant, my guy. What's good? Appreciate you, boss. What up, twin? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jay from PR in the building. Salute, Jay. What's good? I hope you're doing well, my brother. Pudge says, "Pay the podcasters." Facts, 100%. I'm with that. You ain't nobody has ever said anything better on this platform ever. The chat is lit. Let's go.
Man.
You know what? You deserve this for that comment there. You know, I appreciate you, Pudge. Facts. Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, listen, a lot going on. It is what it is. But I thank you for that. So Nick Yak has said a couple things in regards to me saying that we should pay quickly, but then I want to turn around and bring in Donovan Mitchell. Yes, I do. I definitely would, and I don't think it hurts the Knicks to do that, because if you trade for Donovan Mitchell, right, and say RJ is going to go in that trade, right? I don't know how much Donovan is making, but I think it's somewhere in the 30s. Okay, RJ's money is not going to be enough by itself. You have to put somebody else with that. Maybe it's Grimes. Maybe it's someone else as well. Then you're going to have to add picks. The money's going to match up, and the equity's got to match up for their, for what they want. And so doing all of that, right? Give me a second. Sorry. There you go. All right. Just helping out the fam here. So doing all of that.
32.6 and 33 million cap hit. That's Donovan. 32.6. So there's room.
Yeah, that's not bad, because that's the other thing. Donovan's money that he's making is actually pretty friendly for a team to acquire him. He's not making like high 30s. He's not in the 40s like a lot of these star players. And now some of these guys going into the 50s. So he's actually someone that this is why I'm like, I don't understand why the Knicks don't do this. Like, I think you got to figure out a way to get it done, because it's so favorable right now. But okay, it is what it is, right? You put RJ in the mix. You put Grimes in the mix if that needs to be the case. You might have to throw another player in there to help the money. And that might be enough to just match the money alone, because he's not making tons of money, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's that. And then you have Quickly, right? But if you're getting RJ out of here and you're getting Grimes out of here, that obviously makes room for Quickly. That gives him a spot. More playing time for him, right? Now I know you're saying, okay, but that's a lot of money with Donovan coming over here. Guess what? You've already got rid of the money to match, so it's not an issue. Then you're giving Quickly his money. Fournier, no matter what, is coming off the books at the end of this year, and that's $18 million.
Yep.
So it's gonna work. There's a way to make it happen. I don't see the problem. I don't see the issue. And if you're saying, okay, but in the end, then you wind up with Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, and Quickly, and you think maybe that's too much at the guard position, guess what you do? You flip Quickly. That's what you do. There's no way to not do this. Sometimes, you got to make, I feel like you got to be in a position to make the move. And then if you got to make another move later, yeah, you make the other move later, but make the move. You got to make the move. Yep. That's all I'm saying. But I hear you though. But I'm just saying that it's not handicapping us. There's a way for us to get out of it. And these are young, talented players that have value that you can still move. It's one thing if we were doing it and say 2 years from now, we decide to sign Julius Randle to a $250 million contract, and he's 30 years old, 29 years old, 30 years old, whatever it is. Then you might be putting yourself in a position like, oh, I don't know if we should have did that. So stuff like that, that's different. But that's all I'm saying. We okay. What do you think, Wiz? You see how there's a path where we could still bring in Donovan Mitchell, give Quickly his bag, and still be okay, even if it don't work out. I think Quickly has enough value that we can move him somewhere else.
Absolutely. And in fact, maybe Quickly isn't a trade, because Grimes actually plays taller than his height, and he could probably fill in that 3 spot for a while. He and Hart could fill that 3 spot in. And then this way we don't really have the guard, logjam of the guards. We actually have, Brunson, Mitchell, crazy minutes because that's how Tibbs plays. And then Dante, Josh, well, Dante predominantly, rotated in for that spot. Who knows? Maybe now because we sent out 2 for 1, my boy Deuce comes back into the play as a backup, to get a couple rest minutes. And then Josh is filling in with Grimes, and they splitting. Maybe they're doing a, like a Hart Mitchell type, 1 year or 1 game, one guy plays 28 minutes. 1 game, one guy plays, 32, and they flip flop as needed based on the matchups. So there are ways to do it. And yeah, if we throw it in quickly, even after we sign him with the money, then it's going to be, RJ and quickly, which is really something that they may love. And then they just got to bring us, give us one of their wasted player to fill up and match salary for the RJ quickly. Because it'll be RJ quickly, maybe a 42 million total. They just need to find a $6 million salary or something just to get even within the 75 or whatever percentage it has to be to just get to that match of almost 42, right? So I'm saying, again, assuming we gave quickly 20, which is very likely, we gave Josh 20. We may give quickly 20, 21. RJ right now, I think he's 23, maybe if that. So let's say that's 44. Donovan is 32. We got to fill in another 10 mil, 8 to 10 mil. They have a player on their bench they can throw our way, or let's do a 3-way somewhere, and we just fill in that salary gap. And I'm telling you, I would love that lineup sacrificing. Well, I shouldn't say sacrificing. RJ would be the goner for guaranteed. And now it's a matter of who do we give up, Quickly or Grimes, and either one of those two guys. Actually, Donovan is equal to both those two guys combined, except for Grimes, except for their defense. But offensively, but either of those two guys, Donovan takes it. So yeah, there's so many ways to make this work. And then again, it's not a sacrifice because next year, off season, it's got to be a trade, right? It's not like we're looking for salary cap space when we sign IQ. We're looking for a trade equivalent value, and I think it's possible. I think we can trade next summer when Donovan makes the demand because it's his last year and Cleveland knows going to lose him the year after. Make the move. Has to be done. So again, I'm not chasing Donovan, but I wouldn't reject the opportunity to bring someone like him right now. And I think it'll be a serious contending team if we had him on our team. Where right now I think we are contenders, but I don't know how confident I am to get to the finals with this current lineup.
Right. Yeah. Agreed. I don't know either. I'm with you on that. Shout out to Andrew Gutierrez. Salute to you. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Alan Alford said, are we collecting guards now? An NBA team needs balance. A coach that can strategize an offense to maximize the talent, the ability to attack an opponent's weakness that puts us at a disadvantage. Fair point. That's a fair point.
Yes.
But what I would say is this is really a guard-driven league. So a lot of the best teams, usually they get incredible production from the guard area. Not saying that those are the best players because we've seen Jokic, win a title and he's the best player. But if not for Jamal Murray, I don't know if Jokic gets that championship. So, it's important to have that strong guard play, right? But when you have a Donovan Mitchell in front of you, if you have another chance at acquiring a talent like that, there's only so many times you let that go. And yes, do I know? And I said this to I've been saying it till I'm blue in the face. I know that Donovan is not necessarily the closer, guys. I've said this many times already, but Jalen Brunson is, in my opinion. So I don't mind going and getting Donovan Mitchell because I know I got Jalen Brunson here. Now, if you're telling me it's Donovan for Jalen, then it's no, I'm not doing it. But as long as I can keep Jalen Brunson here, when Donovan goes out there and does what Donovan does, which is special, Donovan goes crazy, right? But when it's a pressure pack situation and all the eyes are on Donovan and the defense is all ready to play Donovan, stop him from what he's doing, and he gets a little flustered and he can't quite come up with the answer, that's when JB is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm saying. So that's why it makes sense to go out and get Donovan. And really, when you look at it, it's like the Giants and the Patriots, right? The Patriots would have 2 more Super Bowls if it wasn't for Giants. Maybe Donovan Mitchell might have a chance at a championship if it wasn't for Jalen Brunson. No, I'm just saying, if you can't beat him, join him. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the
yeah,
Donovan Mitchell on the size thing, by the way. Donovan Mitchell, do you know what his vertical is? And do you know what his reach is? I mean, Donovan actually plays taller than he is, and inside and outside. So people who doubt Donovan's impact on defense, and definitely should have no doubt in his offensive skills, they're sleeping on him, the possibility. And then with a coach like Tibbs, because I don't know if Donovan's had a coach that stresses defense like he does. And Donovan looks like a guy who comes to New York and he'd be like, you know what? I'm doing everything I can to get this trip here in New York City. And if it means that I drop, which, by the way, he can step back and only decide to do 20 points a game because he got Brunson right there. So he drops a little bit on the offense, energy-wise, because he knows he got to say something for the defense, which is, again, most players don't have that two-way energy. I mean, Randall's a perfect example. When he goes hard one direction, the other one suffers a little bit. So Donovan has a chance now to, retain some energy on the offensive side and go, let me go put it out on defense, and I'm going to body up because muscle-wise, he and Brunson thick enough to bump some guys. Verticality, he's got the verticality, the athleticism, which, by the way, he shows up, he'll be our most athletic player on the team. Immediately, we finally have an athlete on the team, the elite athlete on the team, when Donovan shows up. Right now, our elite athlete on our team right now is Jacob Toppin. I mean, that's actually not very encouraging to me when I look at who's the elite athlete. I mean, Mitch has, yes, athleticism. Sims is a vertical jumper. So when I say athletic, Sims actually is still my boy, but again, he's a third string center, right? And maybe a backup power forward, back to the backup. So he's not even in the rotation. But in the rotation-wise, our athlete will probably be Dante right now. Surprisingly, imagine that. I mean, this is they call it, Delaware Jordan.
Right.
So we got
yeah.
Dante is probably our most athletic player right this moment in our current rotation, and he's not even starting. So the moment that Donovan steps on the court, our starting athleticism is elevated, and so and you have to sacrifice a few things once in a while. There's sometimes you sacrifice a little bit here or there to make up for what you need to actually take us to the next level. And I'm trying to look around the league. I'm looking at even the Lakers and look at, okay, what did they give up to make the next step? Even the Celtics, they gave up Smart to go try KP and try something different. And everywhere you look, there's a little sacrifice here or there. But if the next guy takes you a level higher than the previous guy did, although they may have one area a little bit less, and with Donovan, it's just height compared to RJ. I don't think defensively RJ and Donovan is that big a difference if they both put their minds to it, except RJ's height, and does have a little bit more, maybe power down low. I think it'll be a trade-off I'm willing to do. So,
yeah, no, I mean that's I can understand that. I think that's how you got to look at it. And so shout out to a couple people. Well, let me shout out a couple people, and then I'll get to the next point that I was going to make in regards to this. Shout out to first off, my guy. I believe this is Heck Project Nerd, aka Hector, Morning Brew Sports Network in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Thank you for always showing love and supporting. I appreciate you guys. Please show love and support the Morning Brew Sports Network. Jigga Man, Hector, and my guy Phil. I hope Phil is doing well. I know he's been, mentioning he was dealing with some personal stuff. I hope everything is good on that front, man. I'm wishing him the best. please like, comment, subscribe, and show them love at their channel. They're trying to do some big things. You know, I love how aggressive and idea oriented they are. They really are. When they say Morning Brew Sports Network, that's exactly what it is. I love the fact that, you know, we all have ideas when it comes to this podcast creation and different content, and it's all about, you know, being able to follow through on those ideas and execute them. And I've had plenty of ideas, some similar to even some of the ideas these guys got. But if you can't figure out the path to execute them or how to do it, you know, it just doesn't happen. But when you watch these guys, Phil, Jigga, and, you know, Heck, they have ideas and they implement them. They go out there and then whatever, throw caution to the wind. This is what we want to do, and we're going to make it happen. And I love that about them. So please go support their channel, their network, like, comment, subscribe. They've got the Jets Evening Brew. They've got the Giants Evening Brew or the Giants Brew. They've got the Rangers Ice Brew. They've got the Rookie Show, the Rookie Podcast. I always forget that name. They've got Yankees Morning Brew. They've got the Knicks Morning Brew. Or I don't know what else. What don't they got? They got everything over there. That's all I'm saying. Like show them some love, man. Yeah, man, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, I got 54 watching, right? With 49 likes. Is that where we're at? 49. So
it could be.
One of the 5 or 6 guys watching. Just say that like button. Get the 50, man. What's up with that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we can get there. Show some love, man. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, so definitely appreciate that. And also, where was it? He had said, which I thought was funny.
Jay from PR, Puerto Rico. Yo, man, I want to come to Puerto Rico. The only thing I heard about Puerto Rico is that your streets are bad, but the women are fine. So maybe I want to come hang on in Puerto Rico for a little bit.
Yeah, once again, so let me get Wiz out of trouble. Wiz gonna have, you know, the salmon thrown all over the kitchen in a minute.
I
know. Morning Brew Sports Network, I believe this is Heck, like I said Jalen Brunson's 2K rating is a 94. Ooh, wee. I know some of y'all aren't 2K heads, but I've never played 2K with a Nick with that high of a rating. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a high rating for a Nick player. So it may change, but out the gate, it'll be fun to play with them until they change it. If they change it, most likely they will. So
actually, Alfred's talk about, he's saying balance on NBA Champs Front Line, that one.
That's exactly where. That's exactly where I was going. So when you talk about that, Alan Alford, I hear you. Said the NBA champs front line 6'10", 7 feet. You need rebounds. Miami lost because they were beaten by Nuggets bigs. Still play a big part in winning. We missed Julius Power when he was out. My pushback to you, and this is obviously have exemplary players. So this is not, you know, the best example sometimes because they were a different team, is the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors have always been primarily a small team. When they had Kevin Durant, they were a little taller, but when they won the championship most recently, they were a small team. Like their center, I forget his name. He was the tallest guy on the team, and I think he was 7 feet. And I don't know if he's a true 7-footer, but I'll give him 7 feet, right? But then when you look at everybody else, the Draymond Greens and everybody, all small. So it's not like it can't be done. You do have to have the right players, and they happen to have the right players at that time. But a lot of teams around the league are playing small ball, which is interesting. But I hear you though. You're right. And Denver is a testament to what you're saying. But I just want to say that there is a path sometimes to things being done. You have to have the right game plan, the right players to make it happen. But it can be done. I'm not saying the Knicks will do it, but it can be done. And right now, this is unless Warriors have changed it. But the last time I looked at the Warriors roster, which was almost about a month and a half ago, the Warriors didn't have anybody on the team taller than 6'9", if you can believe it. Nobody. which is crazy. And I'm not saying the Warriors are the blueprint because they're going the opposite direction right now. So I don't know if they're going to be a championship team anytime soon ever again. But just wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Wiz?
So my take on that also is, since he calling you out, Ron, I know you need some defense from the West Coast, because but is that I would go, because he brought in Denver. I'm going to say let's go one step at a time. Let's tackle the Giants in front of us, so to speak. The East right now has no dominant front lines based on height. Mm-hmm. Right? I can't think of anyone. I mean, obviously Milwaukee comes closest. Boston is decent, but height-wise, there are no 6'10", 7-foot East Coast team right now that we can't get the ECF. So I'm saying let's conquer this giant of getting past the East Coast team first. Yes, we want to win a chip and you want to be prepared for them, but if you have a squad that can beat the East Coast powerhouses, that's what I'm going to go for. And I don't think you need 6'10" and 7-footers at the front line all the way across to beat the East Coast powerhouses right now. So that's what I'm saying. Let's climb one mountain at a time.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And the other thing too is, once again, I hear your point, Alan. But another pushback, if I want to be more current with it, is the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are a small team. They made it already all the way to the finals. They got beat, but it happens. But they made it all the way to the finals, and they got beat by a throwback type style of team with bigs on the team. But I mean, listen, if the point is you're going to go into the finals and get beat by the Denver Nuggets, hey, at least you got to the finals. And then maybe after getting to the finals consistently, then you can say, okay, I need to change my team around. But Golden State has shown that they can win with a small team. Miami showed that they were a small team, and they made it all the way to the finals and knocked out teams that had bigs on them. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, even though people like to point to the fact that Giannis Antetokounmpo got hurt, but Giannis Antetokounmpo got hurt and then came back in that same series and had good games, and they still lost. It wasn't Giannis's fault that they lost. It was the rest of the team not stepping up, and they were bigger and taller and a little stronger than Miami, and they still lost. So sometimes it's not always about necessarily the size of your team. Yes, it's not necessarily what you would like to build. That's not how you would like to build a team, but as long as you got the right players that can play basketball the right way and have the intangibles and know what to do out there, you'd be surprised what you can get out of some of these guys. You can do some special things.
Let's use Celtics also. Celtics, when they made ECF last year and the previous year, make to the finals, their centers were Robert Williams III and Al Horford. 6'9". 6'9".
Oh.
I mean, Tatum, 6'8". So you're looking at now, because of KP. I mean, I think Luke Cornett or somebody like that is 7-footer, and he doesn't play. So besides KP, who just added, only guy 7 foot plus. And so ECF wise, which again is my goal next year, I'm not gonna ever not turn down the possibility of getting the chip, but ECF is where I want to be and possibly winning it. I don't think there are any teams that is going to run 6'10", 7-foot across the board that's going to be able to compete against our guys. I don't care how tall you are, power forward wise. There are a few guys who are going to stop Randall, and if Randall puts his mind to it, there are a few guys who Randall can at least challenge. So power forward wise, that's something that I'm looking at. Only thing, again, I guess everybody goes back to small forward. And that's where they start to see our potential flaw. And so, that's a weak spot for us, I think. And I'd love to have the classic, 6'7", 6'9", or plus guy, athleticism, defensive skills, 3-point shooting. But without that, I think we got to go somewhere else to build up to a point that's so strong. And your Golden State Warriors is a perfect example. When you got Brunson and Mitchell, I'm not saying they're the same, so those people don't jump on it, but that is almost a Steph for Clay backcourt like, where they're kind of unstoppable from the 3-pointers of not even 3-pointers, just scoring wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm not gonna diminish those two guys, put enough pressure on everybody else where they're back there spreading the floor to a point, and then they both can drive inside and score. That everybody else got to worry about them to a point that our guys who may have a small flaw here or there won't flourish, because if you leave Dante open, he's going to hit that shot.
Right.
If you don't want to leave, you know, Mitch. I mean, well, if Mitch, if you incorporate Mitch in the offense, and again, I think it's Tibbs' offensive scheme, but you start to shift towards Brunson or Donovan coming in, and a nice little lob, Mitch should be lob city all day, and definitely don't leave Julius open, or even 1-on-1 Julius is a problem. So we got a squad with that combo. Even, I mean, right now we got the squad, but I think that extra killer 3-point shooting guy who can actually drive to the rim with handles is a more dangerous team. So I'm never gonna say no to my boy Donovan.
No, that's good, Wiz. And actually, you know, that plays into the last segment that I had listed that we can kind of chop it up about. But before I do that, I want to bring someone else into the show. But I also want to do a quick little plug once again for you guys. I just put it in the chat, and let me pin it so that way you guys can, if you have a chance, you know, check it out, show some love, but also kind of think about the future prospects and how we can continue to help the show grow. I put in the chat the NBA wrap up, which is the new show that myself and John are doing on the Nothing But Knicks channel on Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. If you haven't checked it out, please do. Show some love to Nothing But Knicks and Simeon Russell and us on our show that we're doing. And what I want you to do is also, if you happen to know anybody, whether they be within our Knick community or not in our Knick community, let them know. If they are a person who creates beats, makes beats, they are more than welcome to be a part of the show. We would love to have them on. If there's somebody who you know likes to spit bars, be involved in hip hop and rap, and wants to come on the show and promote themselves, by all means, they are welcome. They can come on. We'll give them some moment to do what they do and show them some love and also promote their craft. But we also want to be able to chop it up about the NBA as well. So if they have, if anybody's out there and you know of them, your peoples or whatever, let them know, and get them over to check it out. You can also let me put the Instagram up, because I created an Instagram for it as well. This is, you know what? I'll put it on. I'll probably put it on the screen. Maybe it'll make it better that way. But whatever. The point is, we would love to have people involved, and we want to open it up to everybody. So if you know of somebody, it could be your cousin. My cousin always spits hip hop. He loves the NBA. Why not? Come on down. We'd love to have him. So without further ado, let me get what some might say, or what I say at least, is the hardest working man in the Knicks community in the building. Get him up here. He's the one who coined the phrase "light skin love is back in town." He believes Jodeci is the best R&B group of all time. Let's get him. Welcome to the show, none other than Uncle Freezy.
Boy.
Good afternoon, gents.
What's happening, brother?
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man. Chilling. How about y'all?
Hey, hanging in there, man. I'm taking it day by day, one day at a time.
Yeah, man, one day at a
What
time.
up, General?
El Capitan.
Yes. Oh, also, guys, once again, if y'all don't know, if you're just tuning into the show right now, smash that like button, show your love. But also today, August 12th, Team USA versus Slovenia at 3:30 p.m. on FS1. So that's Fox Sports 1.
That's going to be spicy.
Yes. What's going on, brother Freezy?
By the way, Freezy,
what's on your mind, brother?
Yeah, Rod. Freezy called me the other day. 10 seconds was the call. He goes, Why do you hate RJ so much? All right, peace.
Why? I'm trying to figure out why people hate RJ Barrett so much, man. You know what I mean?
It's tough. It's tough. I know. I'm on the side of explaining that RJ needs to improve his game, but I'm also on that I feel like RJ is going to have a big year. So I want to let everybody know. That's why I told you earlier, Wiz, and to those watching, keep that same energy, because don't be surprised if RJ come out and get busy this year, because I feel like his back is against the wall. I don't know how you feel about his game this year, Freezy, but I think RJ is going to get busy.
My thoughts on RJ are layered. Because for one, I think Drew Hanlen is a PR firm. I think all the stuff he said sounded like public relations trying to save his business. Right? Because the thing is he's working with Jason Tatum, and he can say, "Hey, look at what I've done with Jason Tatum." But Jason Tatum, I mean, to be honest with you, I think Jason Tatum probably could have got to that point with anybody. Yo, me and Wiz could have went in there. Me and Wiz could have ordered a number 6 with the extra Grimes sauce on it, and fell asleep in the gym and coached up Jason Tatum, taught Jason Tatum what to do. The real indicator of how good you are is what can you do with nominal talent, right? And if we looking at RJ Barrett for what RJ Barrett is, do you really see much improvement from the time RJ Barrett was 16 to RJ Barrett at 23, and Drew Hanlen's been there the whole time? Yeah, I think RJ Barrett has a special talent. I just think Drew Hanlen is a waste of time, bro. Because you hadn't really seen any significant change in his game. RJ could always get to the basket. He was always a decent ball handler. He always had decent vision. RJ Barrett could always had the potential to be a playmaker, right? RJ Barrett is an average athlete in a league full of exceptional athletes. So that makes RJ Barrett look pedestrian, right? But here's my thing with RJ. You don't have to be an elite athlete in this league. I'm sorry for those that believe you got to be an elite athlete. You don't. Because I look at the 2 best players in the league right now, Luka Doncic and Jokic, and you can't convince me that they are better athletes than RJ Barrett. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I think there's a play. As long as your skills are up, as long as you have a certain level of skills, I think the athleticism part is something that goes with. I heard you guys talking, man. I had been listening all morning. I was studying business cycle and all that stuff, all type of stuff that only nerds want to, But I heard y'all, and I heard Wiz jump on. First of all, Wiz, your audio was fantastic, bro. Whatever you're doing right now with that audio, you need to keep that. Right?
Well, it's the bass. It's the bass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You have the very white microphone.
You got the Lou Rawls. You'll never find. Look at this guy over here.
Oh,
all right.
No, I'm just messing around. But yeah, man. The RJ thing, man, is I think we are wild OD with the criticism of RJ, but some of the criticism is merited, is warranted. Some of it is, like RJ Barrett's shot selection is the thing that we don't talk about, and I think that's his biggest issue. It's not that he can't shoot. It's like, what type of shots are he shooting? Right? Why is RJ always going to the basket with into the trees, knowing he can't jump over them, or he doesn't have elite touch like Kyrie Irving? So if you know that, then why are you still going? Is that a Tibbs thing? Is that a a key cog to the offense thing? Because we saw Elfrid Payton do the same thing when he was here, and we saw Alec Burks do it when Alec Burks was at point guard, and we were basically getting like the same type result. You know what I'm saying? My thing with RJ is I think RJ is going to be just fine. It's just, and I'm not the one backing off the RJ can be a star conversation either. And I know a lot of people disagree, but for those that are disagreeable with the RJ Barrett thing, I'm asking you to merely look at this. Is it that RJ Barrett is a bad basketball player, or do we just question his shot selection? Right? The things that frustrate us with RJ on offense, is it just RJ Barrett at the rim frustrate us? And I'm just putting that out for consideration, because the thing, we can't criticize RJ's handles, because if he didn't have handle, he wouldn't be beating people off the dribble and getting to the rim. And yes, RJ Barrett beats people off the dribble and gets to the rim. Because if you question RJ Barrett finishing at the rim, he's not a 5. He don't catch it down there. He has to get there, and he does get there, right? But my thing is RJ Barrett's shot selection, in my mind, is terrible, and his passing IQ is even worse, right? Because some of those times every time you go to the rim, you're not going to have a shot, but to force one up anyway makes me wonder, is he a ball hog with no offense, or is he not passing because he don't see teammates, trust teammates, or don't have the ability to do it? Those are the things I'll question. His defense too is questionable, but I'm gonna ask this: how many top 100 players are at least average defensively? And I'm gonna say, out of that top 100 NBA players, I'm gonna say about 70% of those players are average to below average defensively, and then you'll have some outliers like your Trey Murphy, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, because if you're talking about Luka, deep terrible. If you're talking about Jokic, stop it. His defense is terrible, right? Trey Young, Jalen Brunson, Damian Lillard, Steph Curry. I mean, when you talk about defense in this today's NBA, it's getting harder and harder and harder to stop other NBA players. For one, the skill level is insane. Two, the referees don't let you defend like you used to even 5 years ago. So my thing with RJ, man, and I was listening to y'all, man. My thing with RJ is Drew Hanlen may have served his purpose, and it may be time to change. RJ Barrett may need to recalculate his shot selection, because a guy of RJ's thickness, like you watch RJ, bro, you like, RJ, take him in the post, man. You got Trey Young on you, bro, and you kicking it out to Randall for a contested 3. Why?
Facts. I was gonna throw in there. Yes, 70% number. You actually talked about guys in the top 100 who are not very good defensively. But I'd even go the next step further of going, the guys in top 100 who are only good defensively. So the two-way aspect is even a better question of a narrower percentage of guys who can do two-way. So, because Gobert could be one top 100, but offensively doesn't have it. So, so therefore, you can't look at, Donovan, oh no, Brunson, oh no, when most players in the NBA don't have that two-way, or don't show it consistently, and most of them dominantly are offensive players of the top 100 players. So you can start choosing. oh well, he's great offensively, he's dominant, he can't be stopped. But no, there's no but after that, you know.
Right.
So I completely agree, and we have to start to just look for what do we need, and does this guy give us everything we need, or who gives us the most of what we need? And we gotta just move that. We gotta just move that. We gotta move it a little bit forward, man. Right now, I hope RJ will do it, but I just don't see where his game's gonna improve enough. And again, the improvement for RJ is consistency in most cases for me. You know, consistent efficiency. That's it. That's it. I won't say anything else. And it could be in any part of his game, more consistent and more efficient. In any part of his game will be an improvement that I'll be okay with.
Wiz,
But
you know what? You know what I think it is. You know why I think it. What I think. You know, we were at a point where we're frustrated with RJ. It's because we've seen the same thing for so long that we forget that this kid is still so very young. Like, we've seen RJ be this type of player. For a lot of us, we've seen RJ as this type of player since U17, when he was 16 years old. We've seen the same exact player, bro. The same exact player since he was 16, and the same exact mentality. So when the mere idea of us seeing growth and change, we've been looking at the same. The only difference is RJ Barrett is not 6'5", wanting to be 6'6". Now RJ is 6'6" and some change. You know what I'm saying? That's the only change. That's the only change is normal physical growth. That's it. You know what I'm saying? He's still hit or miss at the free throw line, even though his percentage is a lot better. RJ Barrett doesn't give you confidence. When RJ Barrett goes to the line, you're not confident that he's going to splash through 77%. You remember his first year, he shot 61%? You were like, dang, he out here shooting free throws like Shaq, right? But it didn't, you know, so it's like these things that we've seen over the years that change a little bit. I think it's merely Drew Hanlen needs to go. And then, yo, Ron, I heard when you were reading Drew Hanlen's comments.
Right.
That sounds like a man trying to save his business model, right? It doesn't sound like he was like, yo, would, you know, RJ first walk into a gym, he need time to work. Well, why y'all got the camera on? Why is that the part that y'all recorded? Why didn't y'all record the explosive part? Crazy? I mean, yo, we not crazy, bro.
That's very true. That's very true.
Like, yo, he was just warming up right there. He just getting started, you know, like with an old car. You know, you got to crank it up and let it warm up in the mornings. You know what snow? No, bro. No, don't hit me with the old car theory, bro. RJ is that, right? That's RJ, right? But listen, I'll accept RJ as that. What RJ needs is learning how to pass with both hands, learning how to decide to either go left or right in a split second, passing to his teammates, right? Finding and relocating to the 3-point spot that he likes to shoot from, right? Because what RJ does is RJ finds opening in the D and goes to those openings like he's Klay Thompson. RJ, your relocation part of your 3-point shooting is excellent. Your shot preparation is excellent. But Klay Thompson manipulates the defense so he can get to the spots that he like. RJ is getting to the spots that's open. And if they take away the spots that Klay don't like, Klay is still a skilled enough shooter to knock down shots maybe at a 37, 38% clip from the spots he don't like. And then the spots he does like, Klay is going to shoot like 48% from there. So it'll get Klay back to that 42, 43 range. RJ Barrett can't do that, bro. You got to manipulate the defense to get to your 3-point spots. And then over the summer, you get more and more 3-point spots to you. But RJ Barrett, that 3-pointer from the wing, it's so, as soon as you see RJ over there, you're like, oh, jeez. As soon as you see him, and you're like, oh, they just kicked out the RJ for 3. What are we gonna get hit right here? You don't know. It's a wide open bag. You might get an air ball. You might get a hard break off the back iron. You might get a ball that ricochets up and hit the shot clock and come down out of bounds. You might get a splash. You might get a round and round in the rim. You don't know what you're going to get. But RJ is still, not to take over, man, but RJ still, I think RJ has potential. I think it might be time for him to move on from Drew Hanlen, bro.
Now, I'm going to, that was advocate a little bit, but not really, because it's coming back to my essential point on this team. RJ, you rarely see that he finds his spot, like you're saying. You know who else doesn't find his spot consistently? Grimes, Obi, Josh. There seems to be a pattern of players who just can't seem to be in the right spot where they should be. And that doesn't sound like it's individual. It sounds like a team. And teams that can't get the players in the right spot sounds like someone's direction.
Oh, you blaming the coach. Oh, boy. You blaming
it. Exactly. So how much is RJ's limitations and the other players based on the fact that we don't have a coach that's getting those guys to fill the spots, to get to the spots they need to by having the right, calling the right plays, and not just saying.
Wiz, these dudes had a lot of open shots last year. They had a lot of open three-pointers last year, bro. A lot of open three-pointers.
Okay.
You know what, Wiz? I want to say something, and I feel like I go back and forth, man, because I love RJ Barrett. I'm going to say it again. I know some people don't even believe me. He's still one of my favorite players on this team. Has he been playing like it? No, but that doesn't change. Like, that the fact that I look at him as one of my favorite players on the team. There's something about the guy's makeup, and he came from Duke. I'm a Duke fan. You know what I mean? It just works. All right. But that being said, we don't have proper spacing on the team sometimes. Jalen Brunson is one of the most confident people we can rely on when it comes to a point guard breaking down the defense and getting to his spots, and also drawing double teams, being able to dish it to an open man. He creates that naturally by the way he plays. He's not always the greatest at it, but he can do it. We run into some of those issues sometimes with quickly, maybe not necessarily breaking down and, doing the 3Ds, dribble, drive, and dish sometimes. It gets a little, cluttered. But even with that being said, ballers who can ball, they get their spots. They get their shots. They get what they want to get because they know how to ball. Like, it's just, if you're a baller, you get it, right? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I keep going back to RJ and how he feels about himself and what he has tattooed on his hand. He's got the "I'm him" thing tattooed on his hand. He's him. If you think you're him, then you don't need anybody.
I thought that was Ibrahim. That's him. Right. I'm him. Oh, man. Jeez, bro. I'm so slow. Yo, reading is fundamental, everybody. I'm sorry.
If you think that you're him, you don't need anybody else to do anything for you. We already talked about, and I'll give RJ one thing. I feel like he's one of the few players, not few, shouldn't say that. There's a lot of guys who do it, but he can get to the basket at will. Right. Whenever he wants. He finds a way. He can get there. So he's not relying on anybody else to get him there. Like, we talk about Obi, since you brought him up. Obi needed somebody to kind of help him get to the basket. RJ, I'm open. Give me the ball. I need that. Quickly, throw me the alley-oop. I need that. Like, maybe eventually Obi will get a little better with his handle and stuff, and he'll make his own opportunities easier for himself. But RJ can already do that stuff. So I don't necessarily want to give him that out. Like, spacing and other things with the coach has something to do with it, because this is year 5. It's year 5 for RJ. In year 5, you pretty much know who you are out there on the basketball court. I know he's a young guy, but now, the young guy argument kind of goes by. He's 22. He's still fairly young, but he's been in the league 4 years already. Okay, this is year 5. And not only has he been in the league 4 years, he's had different opportunities where he could be part, like, you kind of look at him like the man, because we didn't have anybody else. When he first got here, it was just him, Julius, and a cast of characters. and they got to do whatever they wanted. Fizdale had no offense. You go out there and run around, guys. Once I see what you can do, I'll institute an offense. Guess what? Next year you got fired. It is what it is. Whatever. Right. So, like, there's nothing to really, say about him that he hasn't already. He's seen a lot. So I just think that RJ, I think Freezy, hit it on the head. And I think I said it earlier too. All he needs to do is have better shot selection and believe in his damn teammates. I said it before. The most disappointing thing I saw from RJ Barrett last year was the fact that this guy was chucking. And I'm like, he's got guys open. He ain't even passing the ball. I've never seen RJ as selfish any season in the NBA as I saw last year. That was the most I've ever seen him be that selfish. And I don't like that. I don't think that's his game. And contrary to popular opinion, he's not him. You're not him. When Barnes was snapping at Grimes and he said, yo, you're not him, he should have been looking over at RJ, because right now you are not him. Okay. And once you realize that, that's when I think he'll be able to take his game to the next level, because right now he still kind of thinks like he should be one of the guys in this league. And I'm not saying he won't, but you got to believe in your teammates. Your teammates can help you get there. You believe in them, they'll believe in you, and they'll set you up for greatness. Right. But he's got to work with everybody.
And that's the defense has to adjust too. I think you're right. But Ron, you know what? I think it might be too late, bro. for RJ, it may be too late, and not in terms of timetable for his development, but Grimes came into the process as a hot pocket, and then he graduated into a ham sandwich. You know what I'm saying? But now it's time for him to take that next step, and I think he's ready. You know what I'm saying? Quentin Grimes shot 41% from three since the end of January. Keep saying the same thing over and over, and I'm sorry. I just want to reiterate it that Grimes is, to me, is on the path to be an excellent player. Right? I think right now, just to draw up something to make Wiz laugh, but Wiz, right now, I think Grimes may be as good as Klay Thompson is right now. Right now, if you're looking at old, injured up Klay and young, ever developing, getting better Quentin Grimes, if you were to start a franchise, which one of those guys would you choose?
Okay, you got a point.
It's just not to stir anything up, right? I'm just saying, like, if that is what we want Quentin Grimes to be, if that is the gold standard, so to speak, then I think this season Grimes may prove that he's better than old man Klay, right? Especially in Grimes' second season with the point guard. In Grimes' first season, he played completely without a point guard. So I throw that season away because it was Grimes out. Bro, there were times where it was Grimes, Ryan Arcidiacono, and Damian Dotson. Right? Yes. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is now that you get a second year of Grimes and Brunson in a backcourt, I think you'll see the evolution of Brunson and the evolution of Quentin Grimes getting better. Like, and I think wasn't Grimes working with somebody to help him relocate on threes better this summer?
Oh yeah. Somebody by the name of JJ Redick.
JJ something, yeah.
So he worked with JJ Redick this summer on finding better threes. He's on the USA select team that beat the USA team, and Grimes was a starter on that team with Cade, right? And now you're talking about him taking those morsels of development and putting them together. By the time training camp gets here, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Any fear of Tibbs being Tibbs and looking at his vets and going, you know what, Dante's proven, and then he somehow stunts Grimes' growth by putting him in there every time Grimes does not live up to the expectations, and you start to see Grimes minutes diminish.
If I may, on the RJ thing though, if I may just put a bow on the thing I said about RJ, that's the reason why I think RJ may be the forgotten man, the odd man out. Because RJ Barrett is not the only young player that's developing on this team, and they're all developing at different rates. So if RJ Barrett stays with Drew Hanlen and takes the same improvement route that he took the past 4 seasons, other Knicks on this team may pass him.
Wow.
Right? And also, and no knock on RJ. I'm just saying we're just going by the proof that we've seen over the years. As a Knicks fan, you've seen RJ go into the summer with Drew Hanlen, start out the season really slow, then get warmed up around November, December, and then cool off in January. You know the RJ pattern. You know the RJ pattern. He's going to start the season slow. Well, what if Grimes and Quickly start the season fast? On a team that feels like they should win 50, 55 games. Are you going to be patient enough with RJ? And Thibodeau also seems to do this. Every year, the Knicks organization picks out a first-round pick that they got to jettison. Every year. You know, whether it's Knox or Frank or DSJ or Cam Reddish or Obi, who's gonna be in the target hairs this year to be shipped out of town?
Oh snap!
Yeah, I'm just going by the patterns. I'm not saying that I'm just going by the patterns. Yeah, I know the patterns. Every year since this regime has been here, every year that this regime has been here, we targeted one existing first-round pick, and we're like, what we gonna do with him? We gonna have to get him out of here. Is RJ gonna be that guy? Because I don't think it's gonna be Mitch. They gave Mitch a second. I don't know. Is it Quickly?
Yeah, I think you might be right on that, Freezy. I think RJ is definitely the guy who's kind of starting to become the heel of a lot of Knick problems.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, was Mitch first round, second round?
Second round pick.
Second round. Yeah. So right now it's Grimes, Quickly, and RJ are the first rounders currently on the squad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, listen, it is what it is. I think RJ doesn't have a lot of. Well, once again, that's why I said this is a make or break for RJ. There's a lot of things that are kind of playing against him, and he's got to fight his way through it and become a better, more efficient player out there. Like I talked about his mindset when we had the conversation. Somebody brought it up in chat. Like, where's RJ's mindset? What is he thinking about? Is he concerned about? Because I think I missed it, but somebody said the other day that RJ, I don't know, he was interviewed really quickly and he talked about something with regards to points per game or something like that. And I like I said, I don't want to go off because I don't know. I didn't hear it, but what it made it seem like they were referring to RJ's thing sounded like he was concerned about individual stuff, right? And then they pointed to how Brunson's interview was handled and how Brunson was talking about the team and what we need to do. And so it's just the mindset. I don't know where RJ's mind is. I said before, 20 points per game, it's nice, but that doesn't mean that's what we need as a team. What we need is for you to go out there and be as efficient as possible, play better defense, do the ancillary stats that I love to talk about, like the loose rebounds, find a teammate, make an assist, get to a loose ball, stop the guy from getting to the rim, or give somebody help. Whatever it is that you need to do to impact winning is what RJ needs to focus on. And smarter shot creation and selection, and it being, willing to pass the ball might be what he needs to focus on. Going back to what we saw in the playoffs, continuing to drive to the rim. There was points in the playoffs where he looked like he was getting busy. He was getting his shot whenever he wanted. He was finishing at the rim. He was hitting his free throws. Just continue to do that and add a mid-range to your shot, like mid-range game mid-range shot to your game. Don't necessarily rely on that 3-point shot. Just look, that's not I don't think that's a lot to ask, especially I love to throw this out now. This is going to be my new thing. This is year 5. I think I'm going to be saying that all year. This is year 5 for RJ. This should not be a problem. Right. So I don't know, man.
Isn't it fascinating? Of all the stats he could have picked, he chose the one stat that made him look selfish. He could have said more. Oh, I want to have more assist. Team player. Even free throw would be like, don't say points. Just say my free throw needs to improve. More of a dependency on to help the team, because that's a big factor. He chose the ones. He said rebounds, steals, anything he could have said other than points per game.
Right,
would have showed a team player.
Right, even with his free throws, man. I think he and Quentin Grimes shoot in the same range. I think they both shoot somewhere between 73 and 78. I don't know for sure, maybe 73 and 79, somewhere in that range. But when Grimes goes to the free throw line, it seems like you're confident that he's gonna splash him. Mm-hmm. And when RJ go, you think you just hope Mitchell Robinson don't show up at the free throw line.
right. And you know what? In fairness to Quentin Grimes, because one of the biggest knocks I always had on Quentin Grimes was, one, he don't put up the ancillary stats. I'm like, where's the rebounds? Where's the assists? Can I get a steal? Like, show me. And as for a guy who plays pretty good defense, I would like to see some steals, stuff like that. Whatever. It is what it is. Right. But I always make a big deal about that. And the other thing I make a big deal about that to me is unacceptable is the free throw shooting. 2 years ago, Grimes shot 68% from the free throw line. What? Yeah. So that threw me off. And so it's funny, this last Monday's show for SKF, I told John, I said, if John was drinking something, he would have spit it out. I said, Quentin Grimes shot 80% from the free throw line this past year. He shot 79.6. It's like, what? Because he couldn't believe it. Because he remembers that Grimes shot like 68%. He's like, what? Right. And that's crazy to us because he has good form. He should not be shooting that low. So shout out to him for improving, because that's a big jump from year to year. If he can keep that going, because Grimes should be in the 80s easy. Right. If he can keep that going, that would be great to see. So I'm hoping for the best for the young fella, but yeah, I think you're right, Freezy. That's like the free throw shooting is important, man. We need these guys to step up and knock down their free throws for a reason.
Right. Actually, it's a 6-point difference between him and RJ. By the way, Freezy. It's 74 is RJ this past season. I'm looking at it because the latest season is his best, right? So 74 for RJ, 79.6 Grimes. So yeah, Grimes.
But when they go to the free throw line, bro. Like, think about it. At the end of a game, you don't want RJ Barrett shooting free throws, even though he can shoot it at 74%. You know what I'm saying? You want that ball in Grimes' hands, Brunson's hands. You know what I'm saying? You want quickly. You want the ball in their hands. You don't want RJ with the basketball, late. And quite honestly, I think that's the reason why he doesn't finish game. Part of the reason why he doesn't finish games is because you get another unreliable free throw shooter on the floor. And now what? Now you got, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this real quick, and I just get your take on one thing and get up out of here. So give people time to kind of relax and get themselves ready for Team USA at 3:30. Knicks 100 was talking about a lot of talk about RJ and his free throw shooting and missing, but giving a pass basically to Emmanuel quickly. I don't think so. I don't personally. I think that I have recently been trying to draw a fact to something that I think people forget, because if you look at Quickly's numbers at the end of the season, they're fairly good. 3-point shooting is not too bad. His field goal percentage is not bad. He's over 80% from the free throw line, and he averaged 14 points, almost 14.9 points per game, like almost 15 points for the season. However, do we forget that Quickly had almost 2 months? It was a month and a half of bad basketball. Almost 2 months to start the season. Quickly was in a funk. Now, kudos to him. Shout out to him for getting himself out of that and really having a nice end of the season and making all those numbers look good. So Quickly's not off the hot seat with regards to getting his game right. And that's another reason why I think he will have a better season too, because his season didn't start off well. He had a really bad spell. He can improve on that easily. Just go into it with the same mindset he had throughout the end of the regular season. Let's not forget his playoff performance was atrocious too. He got hurt, yes, but before he got hurt, he did nothing. He might have played a little bit of defense, but offensively, he was, oh my God. We it's like we didn't have a player out there. We lost the guy.
Right.
So I think he has to work on his game too and improve on what he was. Quickly just needs to go out there and be Emmanuel Quickly. Just give us what we've been seeing from you. I don't know what has been going on with that guy, because he's like a bulldog too. And I know it must have been driving him crazy watching how his game was translating out there, because the playoffs must have had him sick, because I don't know what was that. That's not the Emmanuel Quickly we know. So he can improve on that and definitely get his game to a better level. But the question I wanted to ask you guys in the chat before we get up out of here is, and let me put it up to make this a little easier so that people know the point of reference. That's not the question. Sorry. I meant to change it and I put it up there. Sorry, my bad, guys. Let's see. I don't know if I should use, I don't know if I should use, let's go with satisfied. Yeah. Let's go with satisfied.
Hey, Wiz. So we're reviewing Black Dynamite tonight.
Oh, I know. I've seen that. I'm gonna have to watch it before. Come on, then. Okay, let me go line it up and watch it.
All right.
I never saw it. Last week's Juice that was fire. That Juice. Oh my goodness, you guys blew my mind. I'm gonna have to watch Juice again from that perspective. That was fire.
Well. Definitely do, and once you watch it, let us know what you thought of it, and then we can say you got the juice now. You got the juice now.
I want to know when I watch it. I know that I'm not gonna, and I'll just be like, Juan was right. Whatever, Juan's take was right. That's how it was.
Whatever that was. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Anyway, so are you guys? Because I'm getting a lot of the longer this off season goes. I don't know. Are you satisfied with the current Knicks roster? Are you guys I mean, you want to throw content in there too? Fine. Are you content with what this Knicks roster is? Do you believe in this Knicks roster?
Wiz, can I go first on this one?
You want me to follow you, Freezer? Man, you don't know.
No. Oh no, trust me. I'm throwing you alley oops. I'm not Kobe. I'm gonna be Derek Fisher on this.
All right, go ahead.
I think right now we are not satisfied, but the Knicks' current roster is not a byproduct of what the Knicks want to do, right? I think the current Knicks roster is a byproduct of the bottleneck, which is the Portland and Miami Dame Lillard trade, right? And the reason why I say that is because NBA teams are in a holding pattern until they find out what pieces are going to go where and what pieces are going to be available, right? Once Miami and Portland unclogs the dam, I think all the rest of the transactions will flow, right? Because what's going to happen is like those guys like Ron mentioned, like Kelly Oubre earlier, you know what I'm saying? All these guys that are available, waiting for a team. Once the musical chairs part starts back again, then you'll see a lot of moving parts. And I think the Knicks are going to be involved in these things one way or another, whether it's solely by improving the back end of their roster, right? Like maybe entertaining the thought of a Christian Wood, just entertaining it, because we all know Tom Thibodeau will literally poop a porcupine with Christian Wood on defense, bro. Tom Thibodeau would poop a porcupine backwards watching Christian Wood play defense, right? Because we know Tom Thibodeau loves rim protection, right? So getting rid of an Obi to bring in a Christian Wood, Tibbs would just melt down into a pool of himself, right? But what I'm saying though, Wiz, is the current Knicks roster, I think we're satisfied with what we feel like are the rotational pieces, right? And all I'm saying is it's sustenance for us. We might not be happy with it or excited about it, but we're satisfied. We know things could be worse, right? But once you see the James Harden thing work itself out, once you see the Dame Lillard thing work itself out, the Knicks may be a part, maybe like the third or fourth team in a trade. You know what I'm saying? Like you may see, um, dare I say, Hartenstein's money go. You know what I'm saying? And something like Hartenstein in a second for some teams, some championship level teams first, something weird where the Knicks contribute as the third team, as a buffer between two teams that can't get it right. And Wiz, you know what I'm talking about. You know how like at the party where a girl wants to dance with a boy and that boy wants to dance with her, but the DJ won't play the right song. So they just over there, you know what I'm saying? And then somebody goes to the DJ, a fourth team goes to the third team and be like, hey, do this. And then now everything, you know what I'm saying? It takes two to make a thing go right, basically. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, am I satisfied with the Knicks roster? I would say I think this roster right now, if nobody gets injured, I'm talking about before the season starts.
Right.
If everybody comes into the season healthy, I think this team could potentially win 60 games. And I think we have the right coach to do it. Right. But at the same time, I think this front office is really wanting to do something, but the market is not right yet. Once Dame goes from Portland to Miami, and you know, once Harden goes from Philly to the Clippers, and once DeAndre Ayton goes from Phoenix to Dallas or however, you'll have all these things going on once they unclog the dam. And then now the Knicks have the potential to jump in all three of those trade scenarios. And maybe they won't, right? But what I'm saying is the opportunity is there. And the Knicks have to look at the opportunity cost analysis and say, what if we throw in such and such? You know, what if we throw in such and such player? Or what if we throw in such and such picks? Can we get a such and such if we're the third or fourth team? Because I don't think the Knicks are looking to be the first team in any trade at this point.
Great analysis, Bruce. Actually, great analysis. Actually, you went different direction than I did, but I was planning to.
Or maybe I have a mind full of mush.
No, I like that. I like it. Wow. Content, satisfied, happy, pleased. You know what I thought about when I heard the question? My first thought was, and it sounds weird now, maybe, I mean, this is, you know, like 30 years after the fact, so this is going to be for all you old heads to recognize this. Because the youngins won't necessarily know how at the time that what the prize was that this guy was thinking about. Because when you mentioned movie, this movie comes to mind. 1992, there's a movie called Boomerang. Eddie Murphy, Halle Berry, Robin Givens. And Robin Givens was the prize. Robin Givens was what Eddie wanted, and he had to settle with Halle. And people now would be like, what the heck? Who would settle with Halle Berry's the secondary prize? So, but content or satisfied, the right fit for him was Halle, but he wanted, you know, Robin Givens, right? And that's how I think Knicks fans are, including myself, that we want Donovan Mitchell is our Robin Givens, or Jaylen Brown, or, you know, I don't know, Brandon Ingram. That's our Robin Givens. And maybe we should settle with our Dante or our Quickly and be like, you know what, this may be the right fit for us to live a nice, comfortable life. But so I'm at that point where I want that Robin Givens, because that looks like the prize that's gonna make us the man that's gonna live the life we want to live. Because, you know, the feet were right, you know, the toes look good, you know. She was the
got
high
a good job. She your boss.
Exactly.
She handling the merger.
Exactly.
She know how to live, bro. She nightlife in New Orleans.
Exactly.
Damn, bro.
Man, so I'm content with my Halle, but man, I'd be happy if I could rein in that Robin Givens. So for those guys, that's Eddie Murphy lives about 15 minutes from my house, maybe 10. And I see my coffee bean up when we go to the same coffee bean. He drives this old little Benz that actually a window doesn't wind down on one side. He has talked about before. But once in a while, I roll through there. Little history on Eddie. He went to Roosevelt High School in Long Island.
I don't know.
And actually, this is telling on myself. People dated my wife, so
What?
I just
wait, what?
Him. He dated mine. They were high school sweethearts, and then went to Howard, and he was coming by. But that's when he started.
Oh hell no! Wiz, you following Eddie Murphy? How can you do that, brother?
You are.
I got skills, man.
I told you, Wiz was perfect, bro. That's why
I didn't know Wiz was that dude, man. You following Eddie Murphy? What?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Okay, Wiz.
When they were calling him Ashley Inc., I was like, yo, stop calling him Ashley Inc. 1, bro. Call him Wisdom. Call him Wisdom.
Exactly.
Am I lying, Wiz? Am I lying? I was like, nah, man,
true.
call him Wisdom, bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, man. So that's a plug so Ed can get some more residuals from Boomerang, because I know he's running low on cash. He only got like half, $250 million right now net worth. So he ain't got all that. But yeah, I'm saying that's how I am right now. I'm content. I'm happy, and we may realize that Halle Berry gonna end up better than Robin Givens in the long run.
No, Wes. Wes. Donovan Mitchell here in New York. My belief is that Donovan Mitchell will be the league MVP.
Oh yes, I know. That's what I'm thinking too.
The reason why I say that is because we saw with our own eyes Tom Thibodeau take an explosive athlete like Donovan Mitchell and turn him into the league MVP. Right?
Man.
Right. The dude he took was a little bit younger, but had the same attributes, you know what I'm saying, as Donovan Mitchell. And I think if you give Tom Thibodeau a young or a Derrick Rose with a jumper, I think Tom Thibodeau turns him into the league MVP. I think New York will legit unleash Donovan Mitchell, bro.
I know.
Spiders are meant to be from New York, bro.
Oh,
I think spiders are from where? Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
I think spiders are from Brooklyn, right?
I'm not aware of that. I don't know.
Peter Parker is from Brooklyn, right?
Well, I mean, no, actually, Peter Parker's Queens.
Queens get the money.
Yeah. Captain America's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, right. Yeah.
Oh man,
Wiz, I think it's meant to be, bro. I think all parties involved know that it's destiny. Like that song by Myron. You remember that song by Myron? It's Got to Be Destiny.
Yeah,
that's for R&B heads, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm sorry for throwing R&B and everything, but like what Myron said, bro, it's got to be destiny, bro. Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks, man. It's don't think about all everybody's shortcomings. Nobody's perfect. No person walking this planet is perfect. Just think about what he will bring once he gets here. Don't think about what you gave up and all that stuff, because anything you want that has value is going to have a value attached to it. So if you trade for Donovan Mitchell, sure, you may give up a lot, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, anything you get in life, anything that you purchase in life is going to have a value attached to it. So you have to pay. You have to pay to play. It's just what it is. If we have to give up RJ Barrett, and I like RJ Barrett, but if we have to give up RJ to get Donovan Mitchell.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it is what it is, guys. Like tough decisions have to be made in situations where you're talking about players of that caliber. So I mean, it is what it is. I can love RJ all I want, and it doesn't matter if I'm going after Donovan Mitchell. It is what it is. And I never addressed it before. Shout out to D Coolis, right? I think D Coolis had mentioned Joel Embiid. Why all this Donovan Mitchell talk, and why aren't we trying to get Joel Embiid? Well, listen, Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid. Not everybody wants Joel Embiid on the Knicks, but I don't mind it. The only reason I don't mind it is because we have Jalen Brunson here. But without Jalen Brunson, I do not want Joel Embiid, because Joel Embiid has the same problem that Donovan Mitchell has. It looks different. It's the same problem. Right. Neither one of those two guys have shown that they are the answer when the game is on the line consistently. When it's crunch time throughout the playoffs, they haven't been able to do it by themselves. So this is where JB becomes very important. You bring Joel Embiid over here with these Knicks and Jalen Brunson, I like it. You bring Donovan Mitchell over here with these Knicks and Jalen Brunson, I like it. Yeah, you got to kind of look at your team and what you got, make some moves if you need, but I like it. You can do it. So that's how I look at it.
Right. I would say that tanksters, any organization that has tanksters, they don't know how to get over the top, bro. When teams be tanking, bro, and a star comes out of that nest, they just can't figure it out. Right? Joel Embiid is a part of that. Right? He doesn't have they sat through too many meaningless games to think about. Joel Embiid sat out. This is the thing I say about Zion. Knicks fans like, I don't want Zion. He don't play games. Hey, man, Joel Embiid didn't play games his first 2.5 seasons here either. You know, so Joel Embiid missed a lot of time at the beginning of his career, right? And he became productive. My thing is, though, teams that tank instill a tanking attitude and then assume they can flip the switch. But then when they get to the switch don't work, right? Look at what happens to Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz. Now Joel Embiid can't get over the hump. You never saw Golden State tank. They were just trying and added pieces over the years. Miami never tanked. San Antonio, until recently, they never tanked, bro. They were trying to get over the top, trying. Right? Milwaukee, they never tanked. Denver, they never tanked. Toronto, they never tanked. These teams like Detroit and Philadelphia and a bunch of these teams that were tanking, bro, their players, I'd say just beware. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Joel Embiid is not a great player. I'm just saying when you sit through so much losing, are you able to mentally get over the hump when it comes time to win in big games?
Wow, kind of like being a Jets, right?
Yep, kind of like being a Giants fan.
No,
Jets fan. He said Jets.
Yes,
Freezy Jets.
Oh yeah, the Bears would
not gents, Jets.
The Jets, Jets.
Yeah, there you go. That's
my God, Jets. Y'all can't spell. The Jets fans, Jets, Jets. Just come on, Jets fans. Come on, bro. Y'all can't spell.
Yeah. You might have been a little confused there, Freeze. That's okay. We understand. That's
I'm a
all
Bears
right.
fan, bro. My quarterback's gonna be the MVP this year.
Oh man.
He'll definitely he can if he can run for 2,000 yards. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's gonna throw to.
He threw 3 passes today, right?
Listen. I wish that kid the best of success. I like his game actually. And if this guy can get any semblance of getting under control in that pocket and reading and reacting to what his wide receivers are giving him, he could literally be the MVP of the league.
Bro, he was Archie Manning last year. As soon as he snapped the ball, 8 people on him, bro.
Yeah.
He was Archie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Because he's incredible.
If the Jets had him right now, y'all would be the Jets fans would be Super Bowl contenders for the next 10 seasons, easy. Because they have the receivers, they have the corners, they have the running backs, they have the D-line, O-line coming together. Yeah.
Actually, I'm a little worried about the Jets stepping up this year. Not worried. I mean, I'm a little, I'm still I'm a New York fan, so even though they're playing Jersey, I'm still optimistic that they actually could make some noise this year. But I think that AFC is crazy, crazy talented, and that's
there's gonna be some things, but look out. I think I don't know what to say about the Jets yet. There was 2 seasons ago where the Jets revamped their squad, and I thought the Jets were gonna win like 10 games, and they stunk. So I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, as a Giant fan, I look at the Jets fairly. I thought they were going to be good, and they stunk.
But they wound up getting Sauce Gardner out of that too. So
yes, and so Sauce is the truth. I like Sauce. I like what the Jets have. I like some of the wide receivers they already have on the team from this past year. So what they built and brought over with Aaron Rodgers and the wide receivers that he wanted them to bring over, I think that their offense is going to be pretty interesting. Now, that offensive line, Aaron Rodgers is going to be running for his life, but maybe he's that good of a quarterback that he'll know how to buy his time. He throws sidearm when he needs to. He might be okay. He might figure out a way to make it happen, and their defense has to step up. So they might be all right, man. So Jets fans out there, hey, hold your head up high. You might be okay.
Giants fans, y'all in trouble.
Oh, no. We got nothing to worry about, folks. The Giants will be fantastic this year. Although, one thing I will say, I'm going to be honest, our schedule is crazy. We are going to have to run the gauntlet. So I don't expect 10 wins, but I do expect 9. I'm going to give us 9, okay? That's it. That's what I got.
That's it.
I'm going to give y'all a goose egg.
Wow.
Yes. 0-17 apparently.
Not even a chicken egg. I'm not even gonna give y'all a chicken egg, man. Give y'all a goose egg, bro.
Wow.
It's okay. It's all right. We love it. We love it. As I've known, I'm a fan of the Mets, the Giants, and the Knicks. If I haven't understood adversity up until this point, I never will. So I bring it all on. We'll take it. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway,
actually, by the way, the chat. Salute to the chat. They have 54 likes. I mean, they broke the 50 mark, so gotta give them props for that. Even otherwise, and even otherwise is all right. And even Knicks 100, who has been like trying to dog some people out here, loving on all day.
Very true. Salute the Giants, aka the Patriot Stoppers. That's what I like to call them. But whatever. So don't worry about that. But anyway, Wiz, any final words before we get out of here?
Yes. Man, first, appreciate, you podcasters are rocking. Like I said, they need to pay you guys. I got to give my card.
Wait, who said that?
We got to drop some bucks. I got to get my card back. I was thinking my card on Apple Pay. So every time I try to say Cash App, I'm like, I got to get a card in there. And then I just procrastinate and put it back in there. Because even when I'm, Radio Freezy, I'm like, oh man, I got some change up in there. So maybe I say Eddie Murphy, I'll tell him, sign up and drop some Cash App up in there. Maybe next time I see.
I mean, just if you're interested, just throwing that out there. If you're
exactly. But definitely some super chassis to come through. Also, I start seeing that because
we pay for all these programs out of our pocket, bro. That's one of the things people don't understand is there's not like a free button that you hit and all of it come together. You know what I'm saying?
I just realized you have Eddie right behind you, Freezy, on the poster. I didn't realize. Oh, dang!
Hey, don't feel no type of way, man. He ain't looking at your woman. He just looking.
Yeah, he just looking. Yeah. he just canvassing the landscape. That's all, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, but first of all, I'm predicting Giants 12 victories. Second, I'm predicting the Knicks are not going to make any move for the rest of the off season. I think again they're gun shy, they're risk averse, they're trying to preserve themselves to have a decent season, just enough to get a new contract. Then maybe they start getting a little bolder next year. And even then, I think something about them is afraid to pull the trigger because they're so afraid of making a mistake. But the team we have right now, I'm looking forward to us again. I don't think the height is as big a deal as people who are there saying. Yes, Milwaukee got a couple 7-footers and Giannis, but they don't all play at the same time. No one else actually has 7-footers in and 6'10" plus guys dominating the front line in the East Coast. ECF. So I think we can do ECF with our current lineup. And yes, Halle Berry is the better one now, but I still want my, my Robin Givens, Donovan Mitchell, if I can get that, or or McCall, or give me someone that I'm like, I know it looks like the prettier high price thing, and so yes, content. I'm a content Knicks fan, but I'm a content Knicks fan who's been watching the Knicks since Clyde, Lonnie Shelton, Earl the Pearl days after the championship, and I need to see one.
Spencer
I
Haywood,
desperately need
Bob
to see
McAdoo.
one. McAdoo. Oh man, my boy, James Bernard King. I mean, I was still expecting Bernard said, "Please come back, Bernard." They didn't trade him yet, and I said, "You and Pat could be," and boom, gone. So I need a chip, man. I need a chip. So I think you guys keep me at least hopeful. And like I said, no one else has had the opportunity around. I'm giving you the exclusive that I'm dropping my little verse in the baritone saying, "I've been loving you too long." And maybe it's just my imagination once again running away with me. Sorry, Knicks fans. I see the chip, but it could just be my imagination with me and Robin and Hallie. Because for me, by the way, if I was Eddie, I got it a threesome, both of them. Take them all. I don't do one or the other. Bam. That's it.
Okay. All right.
And here comes the summer. The summer's coming up my face right now.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, hey man, that back of your neck ain't getting hot. You.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. Let me before I get over to Freezy. Who said it? Kerry. Yeah, Kerry. To my knowledge, Dalvin Cook has not signed anywhere as of yet. So I don't know what's happening with
The
him.
Giants need a running back. They should sign Dalvin Cook.
Oh, look at this guy. Okay. Anyway, Freezy, any final words? Anything you got going on?
Yeah.
Where can the people find you, Freezy? Because I don't know what you talk about.
Just real quick, vibes and stuff tonight. We're gonna review Black Dynamite, and if you hadn't seen all your homeboys break down review a movie, bro, I'm gonna suggest Soul Finger, myself, maybe Ron if he's free, DSJ, Chuck, still Knicks for Life. It's a bunch of us, man. We break down movies, man, and you have never heard comedy and intellect at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like it is when you hear us break down movies, right? Also, just real quick before I get out of here, Big 60 is the thing to do plus the word to say. Big 60 is what we doing now. 60 wins for the Knicks this year. Big 60, right? It's the thing to do plus the word to say. And then, the other thing is Pat Ewing may be the greatest NBA center of all time. Pat Ewing.
Okay.
Did more with less. And Wiz, just real quick, if you don't believe me, think about how modern NBA centers play basketball, and think about if any of the modern NBA centers play like Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, or Shaq. And think about how many modern NBA centers try to play like Patrick Ewing.
Okay, good point.
Well,
I'm Jamaican too, man, but Hakeem the Dream.
We all Irie. Yeah, we all, second gen, first gen.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, hey man, I'm not gonna question it. I love me some Patrick Ewing, so I'm not questioning it. He went through the gauntlet, so I'm gonna rock with that. I can approve that message. That works. Well, hey, listen, man, I appreciate you guys. I thank you all for jumping out here this Saturday and supporting the show as you usually do. Shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys, once again, were great today. Definitely informative and really keeping the show going. You know how much you guys mean to me. Smash that like button. Show your love on the way out if you can. Thank you to Wisdom, for coming on and knowing that he was going to deal with some heat from the missus. Like, shouldn't you be doing something else around the house than talking on a damn podcast? Appreciate you, Wiz, and thank you, brother, and thank you to Uncle Freezy for making a guest appearance and showing up, showing love. Appreciate. I mean, listen, the only bad thing about Uncle Freezy is he a Bear fan. Look, like that's not his fault. Like, you know, you can't blame him for it, but it is what it is.
I'm your special cousin. I'm your special cousin. I just
you all right. You all right. Listen, when you know, I appreciate you, brother, but when you start talking negative about that giant franchise, one of the, you know, historical franchises in the NFL, you know, there's the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Giants.
Super Bowls, bro. 3 lucky Super Bowls. A kicker missed an easy 47-yarder, bro, with no win, and y'all act like it took skill to do that. Oh man, hey, we psyched out the kicker. Really?
What? Hey, was it really luck, or was we just a part of what was supposed to be their history? Okay, they went to the Super Bowl 4 times and didn't win.
Yeah,
you're saying we were just in line.
Yeah, you're saying it's destiny, right? It's got to be destiny. A dude caught a football on his helmet. And we out here talking about his skill, right? A dude, Eli Manning, looks up and throws a football through a sea of hands to a dude on the sideline, and we out here talking about it's the greatest throw I've ever seen.
Hey, only one man can catch that ball. Okay, Mario Manningham was in the right place at the right time. Eli just put it right there for him. You know,
that was lucky. If there was a breeze left or right, y'all would be up here whining about how y'all lost.
And listen, if Plaxico Burress didn't wind up accidentally shooting himself in a nightclub, who knows what the Giants would have done after that? Come on, baby.
How about them Cowboys?
That's all I'm saying.
How about them Cowboys?
Oh man, Freezy always brings levity to the show, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Thank you guys once again in the chat. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, it's 4 minutes away, 3:30. Team USA versus Slovenia on FS1. So check. I mean, you know, I would expect, and from what I hear, apparently Luka Doncic is not playing. So like, what are we doing here? All right. So enjoy the game, and we'll be talking more Knicks in the future. Don't worry, we're not going anywhere, and I'm sure they're going to give us something to talk about. So have a great rest of your Saturday, guys. And like Freezy said, tune into Vibes and Stuff later. Another movie review. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Take care. I appreciate y'all. Have a great one. We out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.